What's up? What's up? Hey, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. I see we have all of our usuals in the house, but I do see a new name out there, Ish.
Miss Slaughter, Nadine Slaughter. Is that who you were speaking of?
That is who I am speaking of.
Welcome,
Welcome, Miss
Nadine.
Slaughter.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 125 tonight, guys. We got a good one lined up for you, right, Miss KD?
Oh, yeah, I am very excited for tonight. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Rhonda. Diana, hello. Cynthia,
Cynthia,
all of you out there, and
Helen, Janine.
Helen and Janine.
Yes,
And
ladies.
as ladies, and again, welcome Miss Slaughter. We have a great night tonight, Ish. I cannot wait to get into it.
I
Don't want to give
know.
anything away.
Nope. But I just know, listen, I just know it's gonna be some shit going on tonight. That's all I'm going to say. So make sure you guys stay locked in, stay tuned in, grab a glass of wine, a little drinky drink, whatever it is that you need. Some popcorn. It's definitely going to be a great show tonight, episode 125. Make sure to like and share the video, guys. And thank you to all of those who have already done so. But Miss KD, what I want to know is, do we got all members up in the comment section? Is
Well,
everybody a
if we
member?
don't, I'm quite sure we will by the end of the night.
Yes, yes.
Welcome aboard, Jennifer. Stacy has joined us, Juanita. And
Mhm.
I feel like all of them are members. Maybe
Yes.
Miss Slaughter, if you're not a member yet, let us please bring you up to date on being a member. You get all exclusive membership views, and depending on the tier that you choose, and you can ask any of us about it, you can also get some of the merch. And we have some
Yes.
great merch.
Yes, we
You
do.
don't want
Yes,
to
we
miss that.
do.
We have
Don't want to
wonderful
miss.
merch.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello, boss man. What's up?
What's up? T, what's
So,
going on?
as each say, this is 125, and you know we're gonna bring the shits to you. But before we bring the shits, we are going to get into some affirmation to get ourselves all ready and prepared for the shenanigans. You know, this morning I woke up to an inbox, a random inbox of someone asking me questions as to why God allowed bad things to happen to good people. They mentioned that they were so tired of hearing of the school shootings, of all of the murders, of prices going up. I mean, they mentioned so much. And when I first read it, I was just waking up and I didn't respond because, as I said, it was a random message. I know the person, but I wonder, why did the person ask me these things? Because we don't know each other on that level. But yet, I pondered about it all day. I finally responded with this: in life, you're going to go through some trials, and you got to come out of your box sometime. But when God is bringing you out of that box, He's bringing you out of that box so that He can build on and build you a mansion. See, all those trials that we go through, those are things to build us into what God sees us to be. We don't see ourselves as being that tough. We can't see it because we're busy fighting. We don't see it because we didn't build ourselves to be that. But God see what's in us, and each and every individual fight that we are faced with, whether it is world tragic or whatever, how we deal with it individually is going to build us into the person that God wants us to be. And sometime you have to come out of that box, because when you go back into that box after each of those trials, God has built a room onto that box. And that box is getting bigger and bigger until you're standing inside your mansion. So, with that being said, let's get ready for some Uncensored Minds tonight.
A beautiful word, Miss KD, as always. A beautiful word.
Well, I hope someone gets something from that.
I think at this point in time, we can all of us, like every single one of us watching, can pull a little bit from, what you said. And because I think we all just need it right now. We all just
Right.
need to be able to pull on a little something, a little positive
Mm-hmm.
anything right now. So thank you
Exactly.
so much for that word, as always. And I saw another new name in the comments, Tawanda. Good evening,
Tawanda.
Tawanda. Welcome. Yes.
Oh, hi, Tawanda.
Yes. Welcome.
Welcome,
Welcome.
welcome, welcome to Uncensored Minds.
Yes.
Un-
Yes.
Episode 125.
Five. Where's the mayor? Where is he?
Where is the mayor?
Where is he?
What's pop?
There he is, the mayor of Uncensored Mind himself.
How y'all
Yes.
out there? Welcome to everybody to episode 125. As is so beautifully put. Thank you for sharing. If you haven't already done so, welcome to the newest faces to the Uncensored Minds family, Tawanda and Nadine. Thank you, ladies, for joining us, and the countless of others who haven't made comments. We appreciate your support and your love. Um, I'm a little under the weather today, as I was telling my co-host. Real under the weather, not feeling well at all. But we're gonna push through it to give you a beautiful show this evening, and we're gonna get right into the icebreaker question of the day, and it goes a little something like this: Name one of your favorite sleeper artists, i.e., rapper or singer. Again, name one of your favorite sleeper artists. It could be a rapper or singer.
Miss Katie, you want to go first?
Sure. One of my favorite artists that a lot of people may be sleeping on just because her genre of music is Corrine Hawthorne. I absolutely love her music. It gives me so much inspiration.
Okay.
I've been following her since she came on The Voice as an amateur looking for fame. And she has grown to be a world inspiration. So, Corrine Hawthorne is mine.
That's for you. Okay. So for me, it would be Alina Baraz. And I know that she has like a little buzz. She's a nice mellow R&B. Real like fantasy like music. She gives like just an amazing vibe. And I know a lot of people don't know about her, but she also has a large following and she is pretty big and works with some pretty big stars. So for me, it would be Alina Baraz.
If we go on R&B, we go on music. Um, a number of people come to mind. Coco Jones is one. I'm definitely feeling her. You know, what I mean, not only is she a singer, but she's also an actress as well. Popular show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the reboot. She's on that. She plays Hillary. If you don't already know who that is, also somebody who has been in the game for a little minute, but also is an R&B singer. I like Jacquees. I like what he does with his music. He takes old songs and he flips them and makes them his, and then he puts out his own thing. So those are my two fairly new people that's out doing their thing. And we talking about rappers because I do listen to that as well. Sleeper, I don't think this guy's a sleeper, but he's definitely a heavy rotation for me. It would be Lil Baby.
Mm.
I'm feeling his swag. You know what I mean? So it's them three right there that's heavily rotation in my music collection right now.
Okay.
This is to the audience. Let's at the audience members, people out there in comment world. Name one of your favorite artists, sleeper or singer, that not too many people know about, but you, or somebody that you listen to that people wouldn't even know that you listen to them. Throw some names out there so we can check out some of their music. As we wait for
Yeah.
the people in the comments, let's take time to open this month off correctly,
Mhm.
right? And when we say open this month off correctly, it is April. We are entrenched in April. That's the springtime. The days are getting longer. We have more sunshine, sunlight. I can't talk. More sunlight than we do darkness. Means the temperatures are rising.
Yes.
Be outside. We want to be full of life and vibrant, and that's what these months leading us into right now. April, going all the way into our summer months. Is leading.
Yes.
Ish, how you feel about
Wait.
summer? How you feel about spring? First off,
Spring. I love the spring. I think it is a little uneven for me at times, but I do love it because that's when, the rain comes, it kind of clears things away, that clears the winter away, kind of, just makes room for the trees to bloom and the flowers to grow. So I'm definitely with the spring. It's the introduction of the warm weather and all of that. And again, sometimes it can be a little imbalanced for me, but I love the spring. It brings new things, new things, new things.
absolutely. And I'm going through a little bit of that imbalance now. My head is like super.
Hmm.
Probably has to do with the high pollen count here.
Yeah.
Weather's crazy. The past couple of days we had 70 degrees, then we had bad storms, and now it's 50, and now it's. But that's the springtime. You gotta take the better with the sweet. Katie, what about
Yeah.
you? What about the spring and
I
summer?
have to say, I absolutely love the spring. Minus the pollen, but I love the springtime. The weather is just right. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's just beautiful outside. I'm a person who loves nature anyway. I can sit
Hmm.
outside on the porch all day long.
Say,
So
yeah.
I am just in heaven when it's springtime.
Time, yeah.
So spring makes you
Mhm.
want to get out. Spring makes you want to sit on your step, on your stoop, and
Mm-hmm.
on the porch. Some of these people that the comments are naming now is some sweet
Yeah,
tea.
so T wanted me to hit on Snow. Snow, if you guys do not know about Snow Allegra, when I tell you that you can put on one of her albums and you can vibe, she is like springtime. She is light and airy, and her voice is just amazing. She touches you, I swear. You can have a candle going, a glass of wine, the window open and the breeze coming through. She is just like that. Check her out, Snow. She has some hits with some artists, some well-known artists, and she has some music that I'm sure you guys have heard, but really, really tap into Snow. She has a vibe that I just love, and T loves her too. And so check her out. Definitely put her in rotation and give her music some spins.
Snow is definitely
I'll have to do that. I never
Yes,
snow.
heard of
Tara,
him.
and October London. He's a gentleman. And yeah, Tara, isn't he just like so smooth and so great? He brings such a nice vibe for those people who have never listened to October London. He is on Death Row Records, produced and guided by Snoop. So he has a wonderful vibe. And I swear he sounds like Marvin. I swear he sounds like Marvin Gaye. So if you're a Marvin Gaye fan, you'll like October London.
Let's stay right there because you got a couple of people that's doing their things. Shout out to Snow, shout out to October, but also check out Jazzy too. She signed
Jazzy.
Bad Boy label. Young lady is
Yes.
killing it when you talk about that deep R&B, that sexy, that just, you know what I mean, that hardcore R&B vibe, that's definitely right there. Jazzy is definitely one of them. Shout out to Jazzy and the whole Bad Boy team. Snow and the Rock Nation team, and October London representing the Death Row team. Let's go a couple more people. We got Big Summer Walker right here. The young lady just had a baby and she's still killing it out here. Summer Walker. Janine says Summer Walker. Cynthia said India Irie. Um, Jen said she loves young MA. Shout outs to young MA, Brooklyn Zone.
Mhm.
Lady B said Lynn Carrington. And also Coffee by Jen. So,
Now I've heard of that, Jen. I was looking at that the whole time, waiting for Nell to get to it. I've heard of coffee, so I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to look that back up. I think I ran into him. Lathan Warlick, also, y'all. Lathan Warlick. Check out the young man. He has a totally different style about himself. He does Christian country rap
Okay.
all into one. But check him out, Lathan Warlick. I mean, y'all know about Lecrae, of course. Lecrae has a whole line of young guys that he's bringing up in that genre. It's hip hop, but it's gospel hip hop.
Right, right. And listen, I would be remiss if I did not mention DNA Creative Group Hustle Tez, which is a part
Well,
of who is a part of the Uncensored Mind family. He
God,
has
All
some new
right,
music coming out
Tez.
in May. So he does, the hip hop thing and rap. But he also puts a couple of ballads in there for the ladies and all that good stuff. So shout out to
All
Tez.
right,
boy,
Tez.
dog right there. Shout outs to Tez. He definitely one of them. He's definitely one of them.
Soca reggae, yeah, coffee
So,
is
Okay, that's how
coffee is
I've heard
dope.
of coffee from Ebony, because Ebony
Mhm.
liked to listen to reggae, so that's where I've heard of it from.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
so before we move on, we definitely want to bring light to again while we're here this month. This is April, even though spring is upon us. April is here. Um, it also is Autism Acceptance Month, which used to be called Autism Awareness Month. And we celebrate that in April, and it's aimed to celebrate and promote acceptance for the conditions that occur in one in every 54 child as of 2020 in the United States. Autism is a complex development condition affecting the patient's ability to interact, communicate, and progress. Has not one but many subtitles. First, held in the year 1972 by the Autism Society, Autism Acceptance Month emphasizes the need for public awareness to promote acceptance, celebration, the differences, and be more inclusive towards autistic individuals in and around us. So, again, it emphasizes for us the needs for public awareness to promote acceptance, celebration, the differences, and be more inclusive towards autistic individuals and around us. That's why this shirt says everyone communicates differently with the autism logo right here, which is the puzzle. All right. So all this month is autism awareness. The three of us right now all are rocking our autism blue. The four of us, once T comes on, we will be in unison and we will be celebrating that all this month. I would be remiss if I didn't celebrate one of my guys, RJ Williams, who is autistic. This gentleman is an amazing, amazing young guy who is doing some amazing things down in the South Carolina area. His mother is none other than Chrissy Gadsden. Um, so what I mean, we definitely want to shout them out and make sure he knows that he's loved.
Yes, that's awesome.
Mhm.
All
That
right,
is
get right
awesome.
into it. Let's get right into it. And
Let's
our next
go.
our next topic is just this: all in the family, family drama, grudges, vendettas, and family ties.
Mhm.
I mean, the four of us we came together on Thursday, as we always do, and we outline what the show is going to, the bones of the show is going to look like. What goes on in the midst of the show is totally up to the way we think on a hour by hour basis. But the bones of the show comes about on Thursday, and these are one of the topics that we came up with: family drama, grudges, vendettas, and family ties. Ish, tell us a little bit about what this has to do with while we're talking about this now.
Yeah. So everybody, I think, can just kind of relate to this topic. It's either, different times where, we have illnesses in the family, we have deaths in the family, we have just, family drama that sort of arises. And, you deal with, some family members that just don't get it, that just want to do what they want to do, and we kind of clash at times. And you're dealing with old wounds and old history, and sometimes it's brought into the current state of what is going on. And it can be a little detrimental in dealing with the matter at hand, whatever that may be, whether it be a death or an illness or whatever. And so, we all kind of just were able to connect and just many different facets of our, family, whether it be drama, grudges, vendettas, ties, whatever it might be. I think we can all have that common bond, and that, sometimes it's some family shit that goes on and that goes down. You know what I mean? And I know for me, shit, it's a lot of family shit going on right now. You know what I mean? Just in regards to, my mother and her illness and all of that. So, we decided, let's tap into all of that family shit that everybody has going on, and how we maneuver through that, you know what I mean, to get to the center of where we need to be in dealing with what we need to be dealing with. So,
one question that we all posed on Thursday, and we're going to pose it to the audience as well, but let's talk about this in detail a little bit for a minute. You got a problem. Let's say you got a problem with a very, very close family member. Mm-hmm. And it causes them to hold a grudge. How do you navigate through that? What does the navigation look like for you for that? Are you just extenuating the grudge? Are you saying, fuck them, if they holding a grudge, I'm going to hold it too? Or are you actively trying to bury the hatchet so family can win over everything? Mm-hmm. Katie, what you think about
that? As I said Thursday, I'm the one that would try to be the peacekeeper and bring peace between the ones who are having feud. But I must admit that if the grudge is held against me, I am one of those who would say F it. Plain and simple. I must be honest. But if I see it amongst the other family members, then yeah, I will try to bring them closer together.
Yeah. I'm like one of them fuck it type family members. I'm with all the smoke. Like, you got some beef with me, you holding on a grudge, just some shit I done said or did. Like, let's air it out. Like, I'm one of those. Let's air it out. If we need to sit down at a table, if we need to bust it up, we need to chop it up on the phone or whatever the case may be. I definitely want to like bury the hatchet and just put it out in the open. I don't like the elephant in the room. I don't like the unaddressed situation type things. Like, that just doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Because that's sort of like a trigger for me. So I'm like, I want to acknowledge and address, everybody's feelings, no matter what they may be, no matter how I may feel about them. So, I'm one of those type of family members. It don't always work out in the best interest of everyone and everything. But what I will say is that at the end of it all, through all the madness, I think everybody comes out just a little bit better after getting what they need to get off their chest, no matter, where we land after all that needs to be said is said. I feel like everybody is just a little bit lighter after, having disclosed everything. So I think it's important for people to start having real, true, honest discussions, no matter what might be the outcome of those discussions, no matter if people get a little hurt, no matter if, feathers get a little ruffled. I just feel like these conversations are not being had for those reasons specifically, and it just leaves an unnecessary burden. You know what I mean? And it really blocks people from handling the shit that they need to be handling because they too focused on nonsense. So just air it out, get it out the way, move on, and handle the business that needs to be handled.
And it's best to do that, and that would avoid, all of this separation that we have. Mm-hmm. So I do agree with that's what you should do. Mm-hmm. But I will say, like I said, I'm one of those. I may try once or twice, but if you still giving me your ass to kiss, I got one you can kiss too. And I know I shouldn't be like that. And having this topic tonight, you know what I'm saying, can kind of help you see where your stubborn ways can change, and maybe it can change the other family members. So I'll have to work on
So
that.
given that,
I
ladies,
will.
given that feeling that you have, KD, if something was to happen to the family member that's holding that has that grudge and you're reciprocating that emotion as well, what happens if something happens to them? They're barely hurt, or God forbid they die. How will that land on you knowing you haven't fixed the grudge, vendetta, or lack thereof?
I'm sure it will land hard. Thank God it hasn't happened. I haven't had a grudge with anybody to that extent, and they passed away. So I can't speak on it as if it has happened, but I cannot imagine that I could live with myself. I really can't, which is probably why I be, trying to resolve things, because I don't like things going unsaid or just unresolved like that.
I kind of feel
I
the
can
same
only
way
imagine
too.
it would be bad.
Be rough. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's why I feel like two people just need to, put their pride aside sometimes, you know what I mean? And just
right.
clear the air and try to mend the fences. Again, say what needs to be said, even if it doesn't land
Hmm.
well, because if you don't get an opportunity to say something again, or if you don't get an opportunity to fix it, then that's going to lay heavy on your heart. So
It's got to
therefore,
eat
at
away at
least
you.
attempt, right, at least
Yeah,
put out into the atmosphere what needs to be addressed, and let the chips fall where they may, but at least you would have made those attempts to do that.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I was going to say that kind of to piggyback off of the end of each person's point right there. Um, family is everything to me. Everything. It means more to me than really life itself, because I mean, we've been brought up with family. We've honed our skills, and and the first people that we've come to know and love is family. So the whole being able to reciprocate those feelings ends right there for me. I tend to don't try to digest anybody else's, what I mean, pain to the point where I'm allowing it to affect the relationship that we have, or my views on that person, or allowing myself to carry that energy, because carrying that energy a lot of the times is detrimental to both parties.
Facts.
Right? You're carrying on a lot of stress, a lot of
Yeah.
confusion, a lot of hurt. That's only adding years to your age that unnecessarily. It's putting you in a position to become stressed more, and you don't even know where the stress is stemming from, just because of unresolved issues. And as I asked Katie that question about what happens if something happens to the person and issues aren't resolved, how can we live with ourselves? Far too often, that's the case. We have a lot of unresolved issues with people that we don't execute in the moment, or while they're still here, and being able to fix it. And we go on, and you know we either have regrets and doubts, or we just move past it as if it wasn't nothing.
Right.
Or you even got some people who are out here that's just completely heartless, or they just so wrapped up in the world's view of them, and they'll post the person that they beat with as and acting as if they was the best of friends, which is, what I mean, a facade in the front. And you don't want to be putting yourself in those type of situations. But what I mean, when we talking about family, we talking about the very core that is us, that makes up us, and the reason why we are here. So it's like,
Hmm.
kill those type of vendettas, kill that noise. When you got somebody who's kind of in that realm, let them be in that. But you don't got to reciprocate that. Sometimes you got to kill them with kindness. Sometimes you
Yeah.
got to feed them the opposite of what they feeding you, because at some point, hopefully, they will get. I'm not penetrating this person with my attitude or my actions. I'm not getting to them the way I think I can. And you could be dying inside just because of the energy they feeding you. But if you showing them something different, hopefully they'll come around and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Or
Right.
this is my issue. Can we resolve this? Because this is eating at me. This is taking me to a whole nother level. And it could be something that you might think is trivial, but to them is big. And then you move with the same energies, and now you found a common ground, and now you back to being normal again.
Right. So
Mhm.
now let's tap into the vendetta part of this, because I know we're speaking on grudges and just, how we kind of try to get past them in any way, shape, or form that we can. Do you guys ever like see this vendetta portion within family? I mean, obviously it's prevalent sometimes in friendships or acquaintances or whatever the case may be, that whole vendetta thing. Do you see it in family? Have you experienced it? Have you done it yourself? Like, um, because for me, I've seen it and I've experienced it. And it just doesn't sit well with me within family, because I just feel like, family is family. Like, we might have our beefs, we might have our disagreements, we might have, shit that we not gonna ever, you know, uh uh agree upon to the point where we're I seeing eye to eye, but the vendetta portion of it is what blows me. So I'm just wondering, is that just like my family? Or, is does that actually, really happen?
Nah, really, it really happens.
Hmm.
I come from a large family. I got 11. I got actually 13 brothers and sisters. Um, my father, he had 11 kids. We all very close, very very close. And I mean, not to tell this story because I mean, my sibling is not here to defend themselves against the allegations or accusations that I'm about to lay out,
Hmm.
and not to go too much into detail, but I mean, I got a sister who, I mean, at this present time, sometimes we don't see eye to eye for whatever the situation may be. People who know me know my family is very, very important to me. People know family means more, again, means more to me to my life than my own personal life. You know what I mean? I ride, and it kills me that me and my sister ain't on the best of courts. I love her, she loves me, but there's a but.
Yeah.
And what I've thought may have been trivial is a big deal to her, and vice versa. So, what do you do in a situation like that?
Right.
What I do is I just remain steadfast in the word of God. I let God handle it at this point. I pray to God each and every day, asking for the best for that situation to overcome to overcome itself. You know what I mean? I ask where he makes both of our hearts at that time soft, so we can come together and speak with reverence to each other, and have a place of a connection where it's not screaming, or it's not yelling, or it's not a disagreement, and we both hearing each other on the levels that we need to hear each other in order to fix these things. Nothing in this world could my sister do to me will ever make me deviate from her. I don't care whatever this problem is,
Right.
whatever the situation is. If she ever needed me, I'm rocking. If something ever happened to her, I'm rocking. So
Yeah.
that right there lets me know that problem, whatever we got going on, ain't big. It ain't.
Mhm.
It ain't past working on. And
Yeah.
regardless of if somebody is showing me or giving me their ass to kiss, this my family. This
Yeah.
this means something to me. This is me.
Mhm.
My family.
Mhm.
We got the same blood running through our body. We come from the same. We come from the same heritage tree. Like, we come from the same.
Right.
So if I can put energy into fixing a failed friendship or a broken relationship,
Then you could do it
I
with your family.
I need to put even more energy in that family, because that's something that's going to be constant in my life regardless.
Stay right there now. So what do you say to someone exactly what you just said? And I mean, like that is the quintessential protocol. It should be anyway. What do you say to someone who is just simply like, well, it is what it is. They don't, they're not being receptive, or, I tried, or whatever the case may be. Like, what do you say to someone who feels defeated in a sense when they try to approach the family member or whatever to try to clear the air, try to, you know, get back on a common ground? but the other person is not being receptive. Like, what do you say to that individual? Do you tell them to like don't give up and to keep trying because that is blood, that's family, it's the bloodline? Or like what advice do you give to someone who's dealing with that?
Everybody's situation and everybody's thinking is different.
Right.
What I would say as a word of advice is when we land on that bed and we are praying to God, asking to get us through any sickness, any trial or tribulation, and asking, hey, just give me another chance. Give me another day to see life again so I can experience everything that I didn't get an opportunity to experience, where I can see the people that I didn't get a chance to speak to or see. Just give me that one opportunity to have a conversation with a parent that's not here or a loved one that's not here. Take that in consideration when you holding these grudges, right? Because what's final and never, ever, ever gives you the opportunity to ever fix that is death. Right? Death of you or death of them. So live in that. Let that be your motivation to be bigger than that situation. Who are we to make a determination to cut somebody off when God hasn't cut us off after the things that we've done? And we've done some shit. We've sinned. We've committed crimes. We've done everything that we wasn't supposed to do. But every day, he gives us the opportunity to see another day. He forgives us for our sins and wakes us. So how are we bigger than that? Bigger than our creation? That we can't reciprocate that same reverence, that same forgiveness, that same second just to hear them out or to live in that moment for a minute to fix.
Now, let me stay right down there. Let me ask you this. You mentioned vendetta. You mentioned cutting them off. I think a lot of us can say, we are there on any given day when it come down to it if our family need us.
Right.
But cutting them off in a sense to where you don't fuck with them on a daily. You don't fuck with them even on a weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. But when they call you, you're there. So now does that really say that you have a fair relationship with them if you're not constantly communicating?
Yes, I do. I can't let optics, right? I can't let optics cloud what really is real truth. I go hard for my people. Y'all see it. Even know half the people, but I'm saying happy birthday. I don't know half the people in the comments, but I'm saying thank you for joining us. We love you. So if I could do that to perfect strangers, I could do that for my blood that I don't speak to each and every day, but I try to.
Right.
I keep the lines of communication open for everybody. So yeah, we might not speak every day, but that don't mean the love is dead. That don't mean the connection.
So then in that case, then it's probably a lot of us that we still have that love because we'll go above and beyond for our loved ones. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it, how many of us, you get that phone call, that frantic phone call from that family member, you're able to be of assistance and it can be a life or death situation. Who's not going to be there for them in the end when it really counts?
But
so I would hope.
Let's stop there.
Right.
Because we get so caught up in making excuses for why we don't do things or why we do things, right? We make excuses and say, all right, well, if the person called my phone and they need me, I'm there. That's an excuse. Because why we not picking up the phone checking? Yo, you cool? You need me? You straight?
So let me ask you this on a personal level. How often you call your sister?
All the time. I got a group chat with
her?
brothers and sisters all the time. I got 11. There's 11 of us. In that group chat, I send each and every one of them, I say good morning to all of them in that group chat. Good morning.
Personally.
Even personal. That's good morning. I say that to all 11 of them. And they all in there.
But in a group chat,
talking to me is in there.
Reach out to her. Do you
Huh?
personally reach out to her
Yeah,
one-on-one?
yeah. I'm me and her in the same room nowadays because my father's in the hospital. So she's sitting right there on the side of the bed. I'm on the other side, and I walk in there and say, "Hey, sis, what's up? I love you." When I walk out,
Mhm.
have a good be
Mhm.
safe getting home. I
And
love you.
she
Mhm.
Be
and
cool.
she's not respond. I mean,
We
is that
we
making her?
it's it's not to the point where I can't hate my family. You can literally
No, no,
beat
I'm
the
not saying
shit out of me.
hater. No, no. I'm
I'm
saying, is
explaining
that
to you.
making her like with you consistently being there? Do you see that melting her? You know, maybe someone in the audience is what I'm saying.
What I'm
It's on that same
this
level
what I
and ready to give up.
all I could do, I never will give up. All I could do is
Mhm.
be me. Me,
Right.
my
Mhm.
makeup will never give up on my family or friends.
Right,
I
Mhm.
don't care what we go through. My sister can beat me down physically, mentally, and spiritually, and I'ma still tell her I love her at the end of
Mhm.
that conversation.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell her if you need me, I'm here, but I'm gonna show her more than ever.
right.
You know why? Because I
Mhm.
want to walk in my purpose. I want to walk
Mhm.
in my truth.
Mhm.
That's my truth is to love unconditionally. I don't my love for my family and friends don't come with conditions. You don't gotta give me anything for me to love you.
Right.
You
Right.
don't have to be nothing but yourself for me to love you. So, given
Mhm.
that, there's nothing that she could do, say, or not do that will take me from being me to her.
Right.
Right.
And what
And
happens is, hopefully, she will see, damn, this is bigger than that. We can,
mhm.
like,
Exactly.
maybe
Exactly.
God will touch her at that moment and say, dead that.
Thanks.
That's right.
Thanks.
Because you
So,
know, Nell,
She will
like
see
you
it.
say,
but,
you
and I
know,
know, and
for
this is the thing.
God,
Mm-hmm.
God forbid something should happen to a family member, especially a close family member, and you let um, something so pivotal come between your relationship with that person.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, a sibling, a
Right.
parent, whatever. Because I'm telling you, as a person who has lost a parent, thank God I didn't have any kind of vendetta going on with them. I was there to the very end. I have a sister that I've lost. God forbid if something had happened to them, and you know what I'm saying? And I had a vendetta. In fact, when my father passed, my brother and I were at odds. And it was something that I blamed him for on a serious level. But best believe days before. In fact, the day my dad went to the hospital, God showed me I had to break down what I was feeling because I had to call on my brother. And I'm glad that I did because my dad was able to see his son. And when he saw his son in that sickness, because my dad had COVID. Some of you know, some of you don't know. He went through COVID, and that was his last day at home. He had not been able to speak. He was not coherent or anything. And I had
Mhm.
my brother to come on that Saturday morning while he was going to the hospital. And when my dad looked up and saw his son, his only son, the smile that went on his face surpassed any kind of animosity that I felt against my brother.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you know, it's just the two of us now. I
Right.
I refuse to allow what I was feeling because it was so selfish. That was my feeling. I
Mhm.
refuse to allow that to separate the only sibling that I have left, the only family member, literally,
Right.
that I have left.
But here's what's important in what Nell just said and what you just said. And that goes into the family ties. What Nell just said and what you just said helps the generations that come after us
Mm-hmm.
to keep the family bond strong no matter what the differences are, no matter what you go through. The younger generations that are seeing how you guys operate as our elders are passing
Mhm.
on and moving on. And we become the older generation. We
Right.
become the aunts and the uncles and the grandmothers and the whatever. It's important for our younger generation to see how we can maneuver through differences and through changes and to keep the family ties strong in a sense where we can still keep our family strong and together and operate even through our not being able to connect sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think what both of you said, you know, what Nell said in regards to how he operates with his sister and you and your brother, I think it's important, you know what I mean, for people to see that and to know that you can still maintain those family ties and have your disagreements and, you know what I mean, and your arguments and your dislikes, you know, for certain things, acts or whatever the case may be, and you can still push through and you can still have those family ties. Nell said he could walk into the room with his sister. Hey, sis, I love you. No matter
Mhm.
what we going through, our dad is here. I love you no matter what. We're bonded. We're tied no matter what. So I think it's important, and that's so strong. That's so strong for the younger generations in the family to see that, because when we pass on, they're going to know, they're going to remember those stories. They're going to remember those times that they've heard or seen those type of things, and they're going to continue the family legacy sometimes off of the examples that we set. So that's
Mhm.
so dope and so important to see and to hear. Um,
It's
it
imperative.
is,
It's
yeah,
imperative.
absolutely.
People are asking, well, what do I do if they don't answer? Keep calling.
Hmm.
If they're not answering the phone,
Send a message. They don't have to respond.
put a put a card in the mail.
Yep.
If you doing what you got to do
Hmm.
at this stage, that's all you can do.
Yep.
If you have
That's it.
faith in whoever you call your God, then you'll have faith that this situation will turn out for the better. It befuddles me when I see people having issues with their family members, but give friends or no good ass niggas or no good females 15 chances to be
Hmm.
back in their life. And we'll
Hmm.
cut somebody off that got our same last name, the same blood, off just
Hmm.
like that. And without even a
Mhm.
blink of an eye. It
Facts.
bothers me. That's the part that bothers me. It's like, okay, what's more important? Cool. Yeah, we don't have
Right.
to share the same. We don't have to have the same feelings about certain things, or we just had the same. We can have differences in here, but you still my family. We came into
Still your family.
Mhm.
you did.
Absolutely.
That's these people out here that's meant to kill us. I mean, meant to challenge us and meant us no good. We give them power. We put them
Yep.
tools, but our own family members, we degrade them and we step on them or we throw them away in the garbage just because they
Hmm.
not giving us what we think we should be.
Think they should be given.
You know why? Because
Right.
it's easy.
Hmm.
It's easy to turn our back. It's easy to be mad at people that love us or that come from us. It is, and I'm not saying every situation is the same. Every situation is not unique. Every situation don't lend itself for its own problem. I get it,
Hmm.
but the one constant in our life, other than the fact that we want to wake up the next day, is we want our family members to wake up too.
Yep.
We want
Mhm.
our family members
That's
to go on
right.
journeys along with us. We don't. We cry at funerals. We don't laugh. When we get
Hmm.
the phone call that somebody's passing, that's our family, it hurts us. It's like,
Hmm.
damn, that was my cousin, that was my brother, that was my sister, that was whoever. I miss.
Hmm.
We at the funeral, we got a tear coming down our eye, or we reminiscing on past stories or past interactions when we had the opportunity to love on them while they was here,
Right.
to get even bigger memories and bigger, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, love from them, and we don't do.
And we don't do it. Can we highlight
I was
Gisette's
about to say we got so many
yeah, we got so many
audience.
great
Wow.
comments, but I
That.
do want to highlight Gisette's because I feel like this is exactly what our family is going through. And I think I expressed this and shared this with you guys on our Thursday meeting, that once my grandmother passed, like the family just trickled. She was the matriarch and she held us together. Like, you know, we would do block parties, we would do family barbecues, we would, you know what I mean? People would the uncles, the brothers, everybody would travel in, you know, to see her. She was the knot in our family. And once she passed, um it just was lackluster. Like nobody wanted to really deal. Like I have a cousin, and God bless her, she is trying to mend the family and trying to do, family gatherings and this, that, and the third. And people are not really biting because of family vendettas, family drama, family, whatever's. And Gisette says since her dad passed, she has siblings, 12 of them, that are, just trying to restore some health into their family ties. And it's real, sometimes once an individual who is the knot of the family, everybody is in conjunction with one another while that person is there. And then when that person goes, it's just unfortunate how things crumble, you know what I mean, and how people lose the gravity towards one another. And so I hope for Gisette's family, for my family, and for any other family out there, you know what I mean, that we can find the magnetism to get back together and find those family ties and reinstitute and restitch those family ties, because they can be lost when a family member who holds it all together passes. Because what's going to happen for the younger generations? What's going to happen for my nieces and nephews and my great nieces and nephews, and when my son has children and all of that? What's going to happen to that portion of the family? Like what's going to happen? Because we're not actively doing anything as a family right now. We barely even speak to each other. So what's going to happen for the younger generations? You know what I mean? They're going to have to try to build something on their own, which should have come from, the older generation. So, it's just, I just hope that, families can be mended, and the bonds can be built stronger.
Isn't family is so intricate to the fibers and the well-being of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts from birth.
Yeah.
We're born into this world, and we're surrounded by love the moment we come out. Our parents are there, hopefully. Your mom and dad, or just your mother, whatever the situation is. And those situations hopefully lends itself to, from that start, we're teaching our children the differences of what's important and what's not important. Right? We're teaching them that family matters and everything else is a plus and or minus. But the one constant will always be family. Right? Because that the day you take your final resting place, you will be surrounded mainly by family and friends. So it's important. It's important, right? And it all starts within us.
Yeah. And I tell all of you out there, so many of us going through it, just looking at the comments, is so many. Keep praying. Just keep praying. And as Nell said, you keep doing your part. You keep reaching out. You keep being the one to keep pulling them in. But you just keep praying, because it's going to take prayer.
And you know what I've seen? The dynamics of, this is the beautiful thing of brokenness. Is one person is broken, their family is not the way that they want it. They branch off and they have their own family. And they're raising their children the right way. They're raising their children to be tightly bonded. They're enforcing that bondage on their children because they know what they went through as brother and sister, siblings, or whatever the case may be. And they don't want their kids to break that family tree that they're creating.
Right.
In the backyard, right? So we've seen situations where if you coming from a broken home where your family is not as it seems or it needs to be, at least you're doing your part with your own offspring and making sure that they know the importance of loving each other, being there for each other, sticking up for each other. When times get rough, you got each other back. You might squabble and fist fight every now and then, but at the end of the day, the common goal is love, and y'all love each other, and
Thanks.
you're teaching them those lessons, which brings us
Right.
to the next topic. What are you teaching your kids?
Mm,
What are your kids learning from you? And you say, well, what do you mean by that? Now I'm teaching my kids a lot. Are you teaching them, or are you allowing social media and technologies to mold their brain? Are you instilling the values, the teachings, the ABCs, one, two, threes, or are you putting iPads and communication devices in front of them and saying, have at it?
mm,
The reason
mm,
why we're talking about this is because far too often I see so many young kids nowadays who would rather be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, and it's cute. We think it's cute.
mm,
They laid up there with the iPad or the iPhone in their face, and 1 year olds, 2 year olds, 3 year olds know how to navigate YouTube better than they know how to say their ABCs, one, two, threes.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to sing a Coco Melon song better than they know how to pronunciate the first and last name of their mom and dad.
They are spelling words and don't even realize it now, because
mm,
Or can't even tell you what their address is, but they can tell you how to go find whatever it is that they got their attention. So the
mm,
question is, what are you teaching your kids? And what are they learning from you?
mm.
Others. And I'm sure, the times have changed since the time you've been bringing your kids up. Your kids they're grown. Y'all ladies is old.
Mhm.
thank you,
Say
Nell. We love you
what?
too.
Say what? I ain't old.
That's
What?
a
But you know
blessing.
what? I am glad to say I'm
No,
That's a
it
pulling that
definitely is a
away
blessing. I'm
that's a
glad.
from this
that's a blessing,
generation.
and I didn't mean
Yeah,
that in a disrespectful way, because
all good.
we all are inspiring to get old.
Hmm.
Um,
Now, me as a mother, I did not allow my son to have a social media until he turned 13. And the stipulations came with, you can get it, but your dad and I have to be your friend. Because, it was just Facebook then, um, your dad and I have to be a friend on your page. And I went on to say, even, if I randomly go through your page, because I had his password and everything. Granted, he changed it after about a year, but he had turned 14, and you have to let him go at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for that 1 year, I did monitor closely. If I saw anyone on there that didn't look familiar or anything, I checked that person out. And lo and behold, there were several people that I did come across that were like pedophiles. So, parents, I implore you, get on there, search your kids' friends, because you don't
Mhm.
know who they're friends with on the other side. You
Mhm.
have no
why,
clue.
the reason why I asked that is because when we were coming up, it was instilled in us: do not talk to strangers,
Fact.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger, danger stranger, right? But and it was real taboo, but we heard about it, we seen it, kids getting abducted, being taken. We didn't see it as much back. We didn't see it. It wasn't real back then. It was a myth, or we may have seen on the news or read it in the newspaper, but it was very far and few between. It happened,
Mm,
but nowadays kids are talking to strangers every minute of the day,
yeah.
and we're turning our blind eye to it because it's social
Right.
media.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Yeah.
it's keeping them quiet. It's keeping them entertained while we get our little downtime and get our time to have peace after having a hard days of work, or we just need that our own time. What happened to those days? Or what happened to the days of having fire drills, not in school, in your own home? I remember my parents
Right.
teaching us how to get out the house if a fire
Mhm.
happened. We did actual fire drills at the house. We did it as a family. They even told us how to do it as kids. If this happens in y'all home by yourselves, because at a certain age we was able to stay home. We was, 13, 14, 15 years old in the house. If the house caught on fire and you couldn't get out the doorway, climb out the window. You climb over and run 3 houses down, knock on Mr. Johnny window, whatever, or door, and let them know it's a fire. Are we teaching our kids those things nowadays?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Are we teaching our kids that if they see a fight, instead of pulling out their camera and recording it and laughing, are we teaching them to get the hell out of there because people start shooting nowadays?
Right.
Or are we teaching them,
Yeah.
hey, laugh and stand there and hold your phone out and post it on social media?
Mhm.
What are we teaching our kids, Ish? What are we teaching our kids, Ish?
Yeah, yeah. See, like I actually dodged the social media bullet in regards to my son. You know, he actually um that wasn't really a part of his intricate day in and day out, fortunately. You know what I mean? I had to deal with actual human children, you know, other children, whether it be bad influences or whatever the case may be. You know, me going up to Walmart because they riding up on bikes trying to get, you know, Xbox games or PlayStation games or whatever the case may be. You know, that's what I had to deal with in regards to the tail end of my son's dealings. His wasn't too much social media, but I do feel for the individuals who are having to raise either children or help raise grandchildren in this day and age where social media is so prevalent. It's so prevalent. And although we all indulge in it and enjoy in it for our children, or our grandchildren, our nieces, our nephews, our neighbors' children, whatever the case may be, it is so difficult to navigate through the times of social media. It's just so much to deal with, so much that is implored upon our children that how you have to be so super vigorous to maintain um a connection and a stability and to instill what is not necessarily coming from social media but what is upon real life. And you know, it's difficult to juggle that. So I feel for the individuals, the grandmothers, the aunts, the uncles, the people that are, you know, trying to build up their village, you know what I mean, and their loved ones, and to try to steer away from what social media can really bring to the table that might not always be that good. So it's difficult out there. I feel I'm glad I don't have any small beings to tend to in this day and age as far as the social media goes.
Fortunately enough, and unfortunate for us all is if our kids are grown,
Hmm.
we have no kids,
Hmm.
or our kids don't partake in it. We all
Right.
know of some kids that are and
Absolutely.
are still a part of us, a part of our community, a part of our society, but also our future.
Hmm.
And we got to take a stand as adults, as people who've been taught and got to this point with missteps,
Right.
knowledge, information being pumped into us, but also us going through those tribulations that put us in these situations that we can now mentor. We have
Hmm.
our mouths. The way the world is going now, it's nobody wants to speak up, but everybody has an opinion.
Right.
Everybody has something to say, but nobody wants to act
Right.
until it happens or it hits home. Now,
Right.
now we got tears running down our face and woulda, shoulda, couldas, and we need to do more as a community. The best time to do more is when the chips are not against you,
Right.
because
Hmm.
you can go into this with a clearer mind, a understanding of this is the things that I'm seeing. I'm not just
Hmm.
and I'm not saying these things based off emotion because I'm hurt, but I got a stake in the game because I just want to see our future win.
Right.
Right. So when you see these kids out here, you know, doing frivolous things and doing idiotic things or doing things that they just don't quite understand what the consequences and repercussions have for them,
Yeah.
we got to stop them.
Yeah.
We gotta
Gotta
we
grab.
we got to mentor them to the point where it becomes deafening. it becomes sickening.
Mhm.
Fact, the amount of information that we got to pump into these young people, because this world is so much more harsh than it was when we were coming.
Way
It's
harsh.
pent against them and us than it was when we were coming up. We didn't have social media.
Mm-mm.
If we wanted our information, we had to sit in front of the TV, go to the library, or read a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not about something happening on 56th Street. If we didn't hear it that day on just being out and about, we had to hear
Right.
about the newspaper 2 or 3 days later.
Yep.
But now
Facts.
information is at a rampant pace that you see it and you hear it immediately.
Mm-hmm. And you can't control what it is that they're seeing or viewing. I feel like when we were coming up, or even when I was raising my son, we could control a little bit better their intake.
Yes.
Like now, it is the World Wide Web and it is in full effect, and you can't control it because it's coming at such a fast pace and it's just all over. It's no matter what website, no matter what app, no matter what, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case may be, it's just being thrown at them. And you can't control it because it's so vast. And so I feel like that's the biggest difference too from when, we were coming up, or KD, when we were raising our sons. You know what I mean? It's now, it's at the speed of lightning at your fingertips. They are at access, whether they want to access it or not. They are indulging all kinds of shit, and that's the toughest part. That is the
But you
toughest
know where the
part now.
control comes in at, Ish? We can't control what the media is putting out there, but
Mhm.
we can control the usage. You know, parents nowadays, let's keep it real, they put that in front of them, and that's the babysitter.
Let's
They
not
let them
let it get
stay
lost.
on there all day and all night.
Let's not let this get lost in translation, because what's
We're
not
looking
being
at it from
said.
all angles now.
What's not
Well,
being said is social media or technology is at a all-time high. It's taking us to heights that we never knew could happen. Can't
Mhm.
even talk. I'm so
Mhm.
excited about technology. Look at us. We're sitting in front of you right now, and you're
Right.
home, probably laying in your comfortable bed. You're probably sitting in your most comfortable chair. You're probably doing something wherever you are, and you're comfortable, and you're listening to us.
Mhm.
That's how great technology is. Technology is amazing. Like Lars says, my 8-year-old grandson is at the top of his math class and will tell you he learned math from YouTube. That's the win right there.
mm-hmm.
But you know what? Also, your 8-year-old has a strong stability from you, his mother, who you've raised and instilled in him, not only to be on YouTube getting information and fun, also learning and turning that learning into being at the top of the class. That's where the win comes in it. Because if it
And
was
there's always a win. You're right. That's what technology. There's a win, but also again the control. You must control what your kids are doing. You got to control the usage because at night when you're sleeping, you don't know what they're doing on that thing. I mean, as the shit starter can say, when they get mad because you're taking it from them, fuck them kids. You control what they're watching.
yeah, but
Because
you got
I'm
to do it
telling
in
you,
a way. You got to do it in a way that they understand. Because what did we do when we
exactly,
were kids? Our,
exactly.
our parents told us don't do it. We did it because we wanted to know why they were telling us don't do it. We was
The
being
only way, but that's what I'm not saying don't tell them why. But the thing I'm saying is nowadays when you try to take them things, those kids are possessed with it. They're gonna try to go up against you. You just got to take them. Take
but it's all
them.
isn't it also all about how you do things? If you got control,
I
then
pay the bills. I'm gonna take that thing from you.
but all right, cool. Like, all right, that's cool. But then what happens? They get outside of your presence and they do.
Okay, well, you do it on your own time, but you ain't doing it up on the roof I'm paying for. Control. That's what I'm saying. Control it. In some ways, you cannot control it because they go to school, they're gonna have access to it. They get with their friends, they're gonna have access to it. But when they're at home under your eyes, you can control it. You can, as I said, sometimes like those that are 8 years old and all that, get their devices and go through it.
Yeah, like
Become tech savvy if you're
it's
not.
all about how you're raising them as well. Yes, you can take
Nell,
you
you
can
can say
take
that all day long, but social media has taken a part in how we raise our kids, unfortunately.
that's true. But
So you can raise them right all day long. But guess who got the most influence on them? Social media.
all right,
Therefore, go
that just
through
has to
and
do
see
with.
what they're watching.
So what about our era when we were coming up? There was drug dealers on every corner, walking to
Mm-hmm.
school. We easily influenced by we seeing them on the corners. We don't feel like going to school. We don't want to get up and go to school in the morning time, but we walking past them and they got the glamorous life look, right? The gold chains on, the cars sitting on the corner. They riding through the neighborhood, blasting the music. They got all the girls and everything like that. Is attractive to the eye. We got through that. Why? Because we were shown or we were told the differences of where this could lead. It could lead to death. It could lead to jail. It could lead to a number of different things. We had to navigate through that hard time that our parents might not have had to. Now we got another challenge that we add on to. Yes,
And it's a
it's going to be
bigger
a part of their
challenge.
world. It's going to be
That's my point. It's a bigger challenge. Y'all went past drug dealers on the corner. They social media is providing a drug dealer all around, so to speak. That's my point. That's why I say you can't stop it. It's there. I do understand what you're saying. You can't stop it, but you can also monitor it as much as you possibly can. Now you're not going to catch everything, but if you monitor it, you may be able to catch some things and see what trails that were, where they're going down, because an 8-year-old has no business up on one of those devices all day and all night.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely. You know what I mean? We got to teach our kids that we got to teach our kids a number of different things often. You know what I mean? We got to be conscientious of the times. Because if we don't, we can push them out there into the streets, and they can deviate from our learning curve, or our, what's the word I want to use? The tutelage of our love, right? We're teaching them based upon how we love them, right? The world doesn't love them; we love them. So we're going to shield and guide them as best we possibly can. But we also have to be cognizant of when they're not in our presence, how to best utilize what they have, the resources, what's going on in and around them, how to deal with these challenges, how to, when faced with these things, how to be able to navigate, not get left behind or get rolled over, or not be sucked up in it. Because if we take it from them, when they're faced with these challenges, they don't know how to maneuver.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mr. Prophet, what's going on with you?
What's up, people?
What's going on?
We can't hear you. Turn your volume
we can't hear
up.
you. It's very low.
See if my mic is up.
Yeah, we it's given this.
I can't.
Yeah.
So the crew is
You
all
got AOL shit going on. As Nell would say, you giving AOL vibes over there.
this time.
You the only one that ain't never, ever been talked about in regards to their connection. You giving AOL vibes over there? Is that what you're saying now?
Y'all can hear?
Boss man say
It's very low.
well, as he's getting ready, getting set up, because I can't wait to hear his take on this.
What's up? What we talking about? Y'all still can't hear me?
No,
Okay.
we can hear you.
A little bit better. Still
a little
kinda
bit better.
low.
You're still kind of low.
I'm still low.
You're getting better though.
All right, y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Better. What's goody?
All right, what's the word, man? Where we at?
Where we at? Well,
We got social media raising our kids. What you think?
hmm
Oh no, I'm not with that. Um, what I was speaking as far as raising your kids, you know, I taught my son how to drive. I talk to my kids about racism. I teach my kids things that are outside of social media. So they're, socially, well, neither one of my kids is like on social media 24/7. It's not like a thing to
Mhm.
them. It was like a thing when they were like a little bit younger, like mid-teens. But now that they're a little older, they're, learning life beyond social media at this point. So,
Right.
know,
You teach them survivor skills.
right, I'm
hmm
teaching them real life
Hmm.
and
hmm
Right.
learning
Right.
and learning from my kids. There are certain things that when you're around your kids that'll keep you young, like the music that they listen to and X, Y, and Z. Certain new foods and shit like that. These
Yeah.
are all
Mhm.
things that you're supposed to be learning from your kids.
Yeah.
I
And I
do
saw a
agree.
couple people say, like, YouTube is like really teaching, or not YouTube alone, but I saw someone, I can't remember who, but I did
And
see
you
some.
know that is big with kids. I mean, they watch YouTube more than TV.
Yeah. And it was saying something about like math and that, they learned it from
Hmm.
YouTube. And and definitely, social media could be um something that can actually help and enrich and enlighten, you know what I mean? But the negative effects of social media, I guess, is what we're speaking of, you know what I mean? And
Right.
the portions of it that actually takes away from, cognitive skills, strong cognitive skills, that are strengthened by the parents and the family members being present in their life, and also, what possibly they can grab from social media. So, I guess it just really all depends on, how it's being utilized and what it's being utilized for. So
And just think, we take away these things. We don't allow them to learn and grow, right? They see
yeah.
these things in and around their world. They're on these type of devices. So you don't want to alienate your kids from coming to you because they
Mhm.
feel like you're not going to be understanding. You want to have that open line of communication so you can discuss certain things as far as racism is concerned.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
you want to have them have those conversations about, what I mean, sex trafficking and all those type of things, and a number of different things that plagues our world right now,
Mhm.
right? You want to be able to give them the armor, the body armor, as that they see on these social media sites and in and around the world, so you'll be able to be up to date on where their mind is, so you
Yeah.
can check back in with them.
I mean,
Also,
it's all a balance. It's all a balance in between, them being on social media, them learning from the social media, them going to school, and them learn whatever they learn from in school and with their friends. But you have to give them the core.
The
mhm,
core. Facts. Facts.
absolutely
Because if they don't have that core, they're going to gravitate and attach onto what it is that they are comfortable with. And
Right.
and that might not be the right thing. So giving them the core, no matter what social media might bring, or no matter what society might bring, they're going to know the core and the beliefs of what is essentially good. You know what I mean? And then they're able to move and grow from that. But that has to be the foundation. Otherwise, they just grabbing on and gravitating on to what they feel is right. And that might not always be the way.
Right.
Hmm
big facts. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
What's up,
Yeah.
man? All right.
Huh?
All
I
You said
mean,
what?
know.
Hmm?
right.
What's going on
He
down
like,
there?
what?
You said what? You said get out your feelings. Oh, all right. That's the next topic. Get in, is getting
Oh,
out of your
that's where we're going with
hey,
that. Okay.
break it
What's
down for us.
cracking?
What's the
I
getting out of
mean,
talking about? You and your feelings?
mm,
I'm not in my feelings, man.
All right.
Mm.
So
Hold on. The basis of it was I was having a conversation with an older lady, right? And she was telling me how she's thinking about leaving her husband because he's not in touch with his feelings. That's why the topic came about, are you in your feelings or get out of your feelings? So I'm glad that Katie did say this word the other day when we were in our group chat, this simple word of complaining, right? Because when women have their little issues with us now, like they want us to take out the trash, what we may consider nagging, but we don't really use the word complain.
we
But
can't.
that's what I'm about to say. We don't have that space to call them out on anything, or we're complaining, or we're acting feminine, or whatever things of that nature.
Or we trying to change them.
Right.
No, y'all do have the ability to do that. A real person, a real woman is going to take that all in. Like it's not to stop you guys from expressing that. It shouldn't be anyway.
Sounds
Like you
good.
should be able to express that. Would you say sounds good?
That's what I was about to say. So why so why as soon as a man starts talking about something, he's complaining?
Well, I mean,
But that's what I'm
y'all
saying. Yeah,
said
go
we're
ahead.
complaining, so we're gonna
When do
call
we ever say
complaining,
y'all
but it
complaining?
doesn't mean that
Wait
you
a
won't
minute,
get your
Katie.
point across to us.
Katie, let's stay right there. When does a man ever say to a woman that she's complaining?
Well, I mean, that comes across as you're nagging, you're complaining.
But
You're
when?
this and you're that.
No. Y'all going off the trail. When do we ever say the words to y'all? You are nagging or complaining.
You, some of them will say, "Stop your nag."
No, have you ever uttered these words out of
Yeah,
your mouth?
that might be you and
Well,
Nell.
yeah, I mean,
That
we're
might
not
be you and
necessarily saying
Nell.
y'all.
But
I've
I
Yeah.
mean,
never seen.
if you want to be technical about it, some people could say this shit every day, just in different forms. Well, it's
Yeah.
what you talking about? You
Listen,
don't make sense.
like Diana
You just
What
says,
you bitching
complaining.
about?
like Diana says, my man won't even express or share his feelings because it's not a safe space for us to. But the point was, she was talking about her husband, and I asked her, like, do you know the root of why he's not in touch with his feelings? And she said there's some deep trauma there that he's never addressed, and they're not addressing it together. Like he needs to get, heal his own shit, and then she needs to work with him on being able to express his feelings. A lot of times things are not being said because of assumptions. I might think you might not listen, whatever it may be. A lot of things are not being said just because of how you think the other person is going to react, or because how you're conditioned. You may be conditioned to hold in all your own shit, and that's not good as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But you get in your feelings and you don't care to address it, I guess. Is what it
Right.
boils down to. You get
Right.
in your feelings
Who is that
and you
helping?
don't care to address it.
So who is that helping?
That's helping nobody in the long
Right.
run.
Not helping
I
nobody,
mean,
honestly.
it's helping nobody.
That's
But
helping. Go ahead, Katie.
that's how it rolls, and you just kind of let it go in the background. You forget it, and you start talking, which is not right. It is not right. I'm not saying that, but that's the way the cycle goes.
All right,
You get in your feelings about something. Sooner or later, you're gonna forget about it, each of you, and you're gonna go on. When you get back into another hissy, then that's when it comes back up.
Right. I'm going to rewind this, and I'm going to preface this by saying, sometimes I might speak harshly, or some might say rude, or whatever that may be, but it's not to downgrade or belittle, it's to challenge. Anytime I speak, and whether it's a good or bad, type of thing, I'm always speaking to you to challenge you as a person. So it's never to downgrade you. So we're going to play a little game between the crew, and there's going to be name something that is a plus and name something that is a minus of each cast member. And then, we'll see how this plays out.
Now, are we doing it Like I'm saying it about another cast member or about ourselves?
No, you're saying it about another cast member because a lot of times don't do that now. Don't do that now. Don't do that now.
Nigga.
A lot of times you might not be able to see something because it's you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be open to receiving it from outside.
Yeah.
Who wants to play?
And I think this exercise is completely needed for the four of us.
Facts.
Right? The four of us.
Facts.
Regardless of how dynamic our chemistry is, we are always work in progress. And it's never, and I guess this exercise is going to show, it's not meant to hurt. It's more or less meant to
learn.
To learn from a different perspective. Keep your
and it's also to remember you cannot control other people's opinion of you, but that's their opinion.
When you look at, like, again, when we look at things from a negative perspective, we get negative
That's
results.
not negative.
Yeah, it is.
You just
that's not negative.
If somebody is telling you it's just not malicious.
Listen,
can I go first? Can I go
Somebody
first?
telling you this is not malicious. It's not malicious.
I want to go first.
KD, all right, go ahead, Ish. You have to do.
Yeah.
You have to do.
You got to do each person, or you pick a person.
No, you have to do each person. You said you wanted to go first. That's what happened.
I do. Man, I thought we just had to pick one person.
I don't have that much thinking on me.
I can't.
I thought we had to do one person. All right, I'm gonna do T first.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Y'all are all in the group chat, right? Was this in there? Was this in there?
Yeah, this
is in there.
Oh, all right.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm just saying. I thought it was like, pick a person and then maybe. I didn't think it was like everybody.
Let's start right there.
For each member, I thought it was like.
Hold on. Let's start right there. So if you didn't understand it, KD, you could have text back in the group chat and say, "What do you mean by this, T?" And I would have spelled it out.
Just like everything else, I roll with the punches. So let's go.
Right.
Yeah, Britt, the constructive criticism
is great. Yes.
All right, go ahead, Ish.
All right, so I'm going to start with T first. I think his good characteristic is his honesty, his blatant honesty. And that allows all of us to see something within us that we might not see. He's really good at pulling that out. And his negative, or what is it? Not so good.
Go ahead.
No, it's not negative, but it's what is it? Not so good is not honestly going harder.
Oh shit! Now you want me to go harder?
No, but I'm just saying that's like, you do honestly like limit for the
look at Katie,
the individuals that might not be able to take it. You do tread softly, when you get like comments of OT, well, you too hard, or OT, you this, that, and the third. And then so you do sometimes curb, how you go about addressing people or addressing things or addressing topics or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So I think that's like
all right. Can you just hold for 1 second, Ish?
Yeah.
I need this to be noted by each cast member that Ish said it's okay for me to go harder.
Now everybody gonna be like, bitch, why you tell him to do
I need to make sure that is noted. But you can go ahead to the next person, whoever you want.
All right. So I am going to go to KD. So her magnificent quality, her good quality, great quality is being that positive light that we all need. Her affirmations are amazing. She touches each and every one of the panel members and the supporters of Uncensored Minds. She is a great light to all of us in regards to the positive affirmations and just things that we need to tap into daily. And I think everyone can agree that we so appreciate that because we need it, right? So the not so good is that I do find that KD, like everything that somebody says, KD will really take it in and she'll really like apply it to herself somehow. And not all the time when we discuss things or just people in the comments or us on the panel or whatever. She is one of those individuals that just, is just so great and so magnificent that, she wants to be the light always. And anything that might be said in opposition of that is like, what? What?
It's the diva.
No. Yes. So I feel like sometimes, just that sometimes can block us from really taking in what we need to take in, and not necessarily about ourselves, but just about those around us and those in the world for us to deal with, you know what I mean? So, sometimes I know that when we hear things, we feel like it's about us, or we take it. I do that a lot too. I'm not going to just say KD, I do it a lot too. But I think that is one of the things that is not so good when we take in things that as personal, and it's not necessarily. Nell, let's move on to you. Great, 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 great. Like, you are such a great communicator. You are someone who just drops seeds constantly, 100%, 120%. And we can all appreciate that. We love that. Like, that's what we need day to day, week to week. Nell is dropping those gems for us. But I think the opposite side of that is the same as me. Our triggers. You know what I mean? Our triggers. Like, sometimes, an individual could just say one thing and we go from 0 to 100 real quick. I think it's just in us. It's where we come from. It's just who we are. And I think that, our progress and the things that we have done to get to a place of solace and a place of peace and all of that. I think our bad part, and I'm going to say our, because you and I are very similarly aligned in this, is that when a person can say something 0 to 100 and them triggers just go, and it'd be like, what? I don't give a fuck. Da, 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 da. And like, that is I think our space that, we can work on a little bit, you and I. And you are working on it because you're actively going to therapy and things like that. I am working on it within myself, and I probably need a little therapy. But I think, just as you show us all of your grace and all of your honor and all of your retrospect, I think that at the same time, those triggers can be equally as, you know, felt.
Absolutely. I totally received that. I thank you for that, because just to touch on something that you said that was a pro of mine as being a great communicator, it kind of gets lost in translation
Mhm.
when your behavior is animal like, and you're trying to get across something as angelic as a positive message, and it comes off very, very skewed when you get
Mhm.
like that. So I appreciate that so much, and I definitely
Mhm.
will take that and work on that, because that is something that I recognize as well as being a detriment to my legacy.
Thanks.
Right? I don't want to be I don't want to be remembered as a hothead turn up. I want to be remembered for something more greater than that. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate it.
absolutely.
All right, who wants to go first, man? This is about to be a ball.
Next, because
No,
I don't win
it's
first.
beat
I
up
don't.
KD time, everybody. Let's
No, Katie, we
wait
all
for
get,
it.
listen. We
I
all get
cannot.
beat up.
Well,
Stop it.
We
like
doing
you say, I am a
with it.
light, and
Why
yeah, I do
Constructive
take things on a
criticism.
we
personal.
going there with
No,
it?
Ish, not
But
no, no, Ish.
Receive it.
With you, I told you I'm just being devious. But with this right here, We all know what this is about, but hey,
What is
I'm
this
good
about?
with it.
What is this about?
Pick out KD flaws.
Why is it about
But we
picking out
all have
KD's
flaws,
Because
KD.
everybody's
Like
picking
we
out a
all
flaw
have
for
flaws.
everybody. Yeah.
Like
No,
listen.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry,
no,
but I
no,
don't have
no,
a
No,
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 flaw
no,
no.
for
no.
y'all.
Wait,
Just
wait,
as
wait, wait.
we
I'm
said no.
sorry, but
Hold
I
on, hold
don't
on, hold on,
have
hold
a
on.
flaw for
It's
either
about
one
all
of
of our
us.
Each
flaws.
I don't have a
TKD.
flaw for y'all.
Just
I
as
really
we
don't.
talk.
Except
That,
for throwing digs, I don't have a
all
flaw
right,
for
all right.
either one
You
of
don't
you.
have no flaws.
I don't have
No,
none to
no,
give
but
y'all.
this is
All right,
this
all
is
right, all right.
like
No
this
flaws for
Each,
us.
be the
each, each,
shit. This be
each,
the shit though.
each. This is what we were saying earlier. We can't argue back with our family. It don't
Right.
matter.
Right.
They gonna
Right.
want to hear what they want to hear. We know what it is that's in our heart. So you let them be great how they be great. You just love on them. Put your arms around her and tell her she's special. That's it.
But
No,
KD is
it
we
ain't
all
it ain't no
have
jab. It ain't
flaws.
no
It's
dig.
not about you.
It's not. You can't
It's
internalize
not
somebody
about
else's
you.
mental. It will kill you.
Right.
It will stress you out.
Right.
Don't do it.
Right.
Don't take the bait. Satan is present. Don't take
Right.
the bait. Satan is prevalent right now. He's actively working.
What's up, man? Who want to go next, man? It's a problem.
It's fucking dead silent. Please stop.
Go next.
Please stop.
And I
Please
want to start
stop.
with.
I just keep it real, everybody. That's me.
That shit
I
ain't
just
real.
keep it real.
That ain't real. That ain't real. That is not real.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
My
I
bad.
allow you to let
okay,
that thing.
I'll put it this way. I keep it real for what I feel. I mean, I'm just
So
being me.
we
I just
doing
keep
this
it real for
activity.
what I feel.
We doing this activity
But
to
this-
slight you.
Right. It's not this
Everybody
activity
went
is
around.
not
Okay,
about you.
well,
Just
let's
told me
continue.
that my
It's not about that, you say.
this woman just
Let's
told me
continue.
something that could be a detriment to my life.
Okay.
I internalized that. I took that in. I digested it, and I'm working on that. What are you talking
Me
about?
too. Me too.
We
Yeah.
can't even go. Satan, I rebuke.
No, go.
I rebuke you.
Damn, now I'm Satan.
Not you. Satan is in the mix. Nobody's calling you Satan. Satan is in the mix. He's in here somewhere.
Okay.
I'm just wondering what happened because
I'm gonna
Okay,
start
well,
with
let's
KD.
go on with the game. Let's go
Yes,
on with the
go
game.
ahead.
I'm
Who's
sorry.
next?
Just
I
bring
know
the
it's,
humor.
I know it's
I'm
in the
sorry,
notes.
Who's
y'all.
next? Who's
Come on.
next?
Come on.
No, you want to go next?
I'm gonna go with KD, and I like to always start with the negative.
Thanks, Diana.
Show you your positives.
Thank you, Diana.
Overly,
I don't know how is this lost.
overly emotional for no reason. Right? Overly emotional for no reason. You internalize things that's not there. It's not present. Your friends who you call your friends and who calls you their friends have a duty in your world to not pacify you. Pacification is not friendly. That's the act of the devil. I don't want to give you pacification. I want to give you real life truth, which is going to help you in and along your journey. Some positives though, right? When you enter a room, you light it up. Your presence. It is an array of sunshine because of your colorfulness. That is you. Your bubbly personality, your connections and love that you display are a gift. Not everyone has that, but you possess that, and you bring out the best in people that are around you. You make people want to be, in most instances, positive right along with you. T, I'm gonna say you for last. I've known you the longest. Ish, since coming on the show, since being a part of Uncensored Minds, have nothing but positivity to share with you. But one thing that can be worked on, as we always talk about, is interjecting yourself when necessary, not when necessary, often. You have such a strong opinionated mind that goes against the grain. It's not always safe. It's not always hold your hand. It's not always unicorns and rainbows.
Right.
Put it in. We need that.
Right.
Stop standing in the background being a face.
Mm-hmm.
Let your face shine through, because your knowledge and your gift is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
A positive is you can be called on at any time, and you're always there. That is a quality that most people lack. They say they are going to do it, but in the grand scheme of things, when you need them the most, regardless of whatever you're going through, you're always present and prevalent.
Thank you.
Amazing. See, this right here is coming deep from within, because I've known you since I was 10 years old, and I've seen you grow into such an important piece of my existence, and also of the world's being. We can joke with each other because we know each other as like brothers. You know what I mean? One thing that people may say is a flaw or a negative is your in your face personality.
Mm-hmm.
Your candor to be funny when times need to be serious, or you laughing things off, or being or saying what you need to say, and it's sticking.
Right.
For us, that's life. That's the real, because you gotta be that in order to survive and get to where we got to. I won't say stop. I won't say change. I'm just gonna say continue to be you. But those are things that I'm sure, you want to work on, or even if not, there's some things that, we as Black men get graded on each and every day, is our abilities to navigate through the bullshit, but the way we navigate through it, being serious and cognizant of others' feelings, and not just how we're supposed to feel. So, that's one thing. But positive is, I love the man that you have grown into, especially coming from where we come from. I rode down Redfield Street yesterday, and I said, "What the fuck is this?" I said, "What the fuck?"
How do we make it out of this?
We made it. We made it out of there, and look where we at right now. We're in our 40s. We got children that we give birth to and life to that are amazing individuals in this world. That only comes from within, from us. Um, your gift to being able to unite people and bring the best out of people is not something that everybody can do. They think they can do it. They try to do it, but it's hard. You know what I mean? The selfless work that you put into the preparation, going through the whole week with different from show to this to that, and also being a father, being a son, being a brother. That's a tough task, and I admire and I appreciate that. And regardless of whatever, you always will have me in your corner, by your side, and I got your back, because your brothers for life, dog.
Solid. Katie, do you want to go or you want me to go?
You can go. I'll go last.
All right. I guess I'll start with Ish, man.
I guess I'll start with Ish, man.
All right. So Isha's bad thing is that she never puts herself first. She's empathetic to people, and she always puts herself last, and that's not healthy. Being for yourself. And her good thing is that she pays attention to details. She listens. She's caring. Things of that nature. Miss Karen D. Miss Karen D. Her bad thing is, sometimes she doesn't listen.
A lot of times. I'm keeping it real.
What's up, JC? I see you in the comments. And
Hey, JC.
Hey, JC.
and she's also pessimistic just because of her trials and tribulations of life. And this whole exercise is not a beat down on either one of us. Just an exercise to say that We are not a part of that. we did not do that. And we have to be able to check each other and keep it moving and be able to accept the criticism as well as we accept praise. You have to be able to do both. So when KD is not feeling like she's being attacked, her good thing is that she's calming to us when we get unruly and when we get crazy, she's a calming force for us. So that is KD's good thing, man. Why are you making a face now? Why are you making a face now?
Those was running.
All right. Nell's bad thing. I could speak to Nell any kind of way because it just is what it is. We got time in. Nell's bad thing is that, not aside from his anger, which everybody knows that, aside from his aggression, which everybody knows that, his bad thing is that he's sometimes not understanding of females' emotional state. His favorite thing is, make it make sense. And that's not always the case for women. Sometimes it makes sense to them. It's not going to make sense to us because we live on logic, but it makes sense to them. So sometimes, you have to work on being understanding of their emotional state.
Empathetic.
But his good thing is that he's a big giver. Like he gives more of himself to others and he'll, take care of himself last. That is his good thing. He's passionate. And things of that nature. Did I do everybody? Yeah, I did everybody. All right, Katie, it's on you.
Oh my God. Now it's on me.
Yeah.
Okay. As I said, I know I can think of the bad. T. No. Ish. I'm gonna start with Ish first.
Yes.
Ish, your positive force. No. What how you do it? The negative first?
Either way, Katie, it's up to you.
Okay. Your negative is more or less what T said. I was gonna really say that about you. Is you put yourself last, as in you seem to be a people pleaser. But you know what I'm saying? But your good side is you are always one to come and bring peace among any kind of chaos. You know what to say to each and every person. Mm-hmm. So you are a big bright light in that. Nell, you are a positive force with words. Your words can bring daylight of dark. Anybody having darkness, your words can bring daylight to them. I can honestly say that. We can see it in all of the posts. Your words have a way of bringing sunshine into anybody's life. Your bad side is your temper. We all know and love Nell, but it's the temper. We know that you let your temper get the best of you, but you are going to therapy. And I think each and every one of us can see the progress that you have and you on that. Mr. T, I've known him the longest. He's like my brother. Okay. Bring that ass. Okay, with T, what do I want to go with first? I'm going to go with the negative. The negative in T, because Lord, I just want to grab him sometime and just choke him. But the negative is in T. He's a shit starter. He is a damn shit starter. He's not satisfied unless he's starting some shit. But the positive side in T, and I can honestly say, he is like a brother and a mentor to everybody out there. He's got you may not like the way he bring it, but he do try to bring some knowledge and some wisdom to you. Now, if I get past the choker's phrase of it, after I get past that, then I really thank him for the wisdom that he truly do give.
All right,
so
that was
and all that, right?
Go ahead now.
Saying all that, how we went around the room and we said all that, right? We internalized the negative, but the resounding message was the same when it was the positive. How everybody is loving. and nobody has the message that's the meaning or selfish.
Mhm.
So knowing that, how could you ever feel like somebody hacking it
K-Day.
Right.
when you like those
So
I'm sorry.
I said you don't
I'm
fucking
listening
listen.
from
This is what
highlight
I'm
so
talking
sorry.
about. You don't listen.
highlight certain quality within a person, right? How could we ever think
Thank you,
that
Brenda.
somebody has our
I try.
is looking at us from a negative perspective when you show us so many positive qualities about them that they exhibit all the time?
Well, as T said, see,
You don't listen,
I
man.
don't take it as personal as y'all think.
You
I
don't
mean, I
listen.
really don't. On the surface, I may take it personal, but as soon as I say it, it's gone out the window, and it's not another thought to me.
But what happens when you do that is you cause distinction or
Mhm.
cast a little bit of doubt in each and every of our minds because you said something that you think that makes us think that we're picking on you.
Mhm.
Pull back, or we don't say certain things. Now you realize what me and T been saying all this time. The playing field ain't equal when it comes to us sharing our thoughts because
Mhm.
the perception of that other person, which in a situation like this was you,
Right.
you felt a way about it and you made that be a 5-minute dissertation,
Mhm.
which we had to clear up when it wasn't even meant that way. It was meant to highlight the qualities that you have, which you know you have them, but to share those negative things that we can work on to better ourselves.
I was
And
about to do that, Diana.
so sometimes we can cause more pain than anything to our own selves just by the
Mhm.
things that we say, even if you don't truly mean it. Because now people out on the people that's watching this or hear that might cut that off after you said what you said or only heard that and they think is an issue. So you know
Ish.
now they can come to you and say something bad about Nell next week and come and or say something bad about T or say something bad about Ish, thinking that they can come to you and say that because you think that everything is against you.
Uh,
People know they can't play with none of
Trust
this.
me, y'all. I won't even think about this in the
hold
next
on.
5 minutes.
Hold,
So
hold on now. I want to say also I was having a conversation with my brother earlier, right? And he was saying how somebody called one of our friends a clown, right? So I said, well, what did you say?
Yeah.
and he said, I asked him, what is your reasoning for calling him a clown? And
Mhm.
and that's the thing that I want people to, get into the mode of not being sensitive when somebody says something to you, to ask them the reasoning first, and then you can decipher and break that down, and then you can see what's what. It's far too soon where somebody says something to you or about you, or you might take it that way, and then you just go off to the races. But if you get into the diagnosis of what they're saying, then it might not seem, it might not be to hurt you. You have to understand where it's coming from and why it's said before
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
react.
Right. And that's typically in knowing the individuals that is making the statement or that you're engaging with in order to receive that. Because sometimes, you can be receiving information from an individual that you're not familiar with.
Right.
And so that is when, you're just like on alarm or on alert and you're just like, what?
Mm.
Like, you're not receiving it well. But individuals that are somebody that you're close to, that you deal with on the regular or whatever the case may be, that's when we are able to distinguish the most
Right. So I want to say,
the place that it's coming from.
growing up, I always saw things just from my perspective. And that's all I saw, that's all I cared about, that's all I valued. And as you age or as you learn or as you become wiser, whatever it may be, as you experience life, you have to start seeing things from not only your perspective, their perspective, the world's perspective. you have to be able to see every angle of whatever's going on. So, I'm doing self work and learning, my selfishness, my pettiness, and all this is a result of me being what my older brother always says to me, but I never, took it in. And he always says to me, it's just because you're spoiled. And that is a lot of it comes because I'm spoiled. So, I'm working on that and I'm finding my way around that.
Also, yeah, we're a product of our situation, our circumstance. I'm my mother's oldest child, so I always had to be the big boy in the block to take care of my little sisters. So that bravado comes from me being just that, a protector, somebody who know we're not playing no games. But then too, the soft side comes in, me also having a heart and being caring of certain situations. Yeah, do I always want to be the big green man who's angry all the time? No. Once I get out of that anger stage, you'll see it's a true heart buried under that exterior, or whatever the case may be, and that's how we all are. This was a great exercise because what it does is it helps us to understand that criticism is constructive
Right.
if you allow it to help you build a better you.
Right.
Right. We could constructive criticism is good, and we can just look when you look at it from a perspective of if this is going to help build me into something better than as I currently sit. Let me hear it out.
Right.
I might not have to agree with it at that moment, but it could be some takeaways that I could take away from it and say, you know what, I agree. Let me work on that. Let me fine tune that right there, because that's only going to make me a better person for opportunities to present itself later down the line.
We could go around, but I want to start with you, KD, and just see what you've learned about yourself.
That I'm a diva. I mean,
no, I'm not speaking about this particular thing. I'm talking about just learning about yourself going throughout life. Just learning about yourself going throughout life. What have you learned about yourself and your emotional state?
I try to avoid emotional state at all times, but as far as my emotional state, it's very fragile. It's very fragile. So I know that in order to stay strong for me, is I have to stay in a state of calmness for me, which puts me in an isolation state, a detachment state. But that's the way I keep my sanity.
Right.
That's sanity
For me.
We can stay there now.
Like I said, for me. You got to find your own way.
We can stay there.
You know, what I'm saying is it may not be right for anybody else, but for me, isolation, that's what I find my peace. I don't stay there, but I go there when I need it.
Right, but it's gonna take time for you to, let go of some of that hurt that put you in that place.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
It's a process. We're all works in process.
Yep.
What's your answer, Ish?
I mean, listen, I feel like everyone has some growing to do, and we can all grow in any given point in time. The fact that we are able to take in what others think of us and then just being able to process that to get to a space where we're working on those type of things is amazing. So I feel like,
but what have you learned in your journey?
yeah, so I feel like by hearing that will help us in our journey. Like hearing what other people think. We necessarily might not be able to gravitate to what is within us by hearing other people point it out to us and put it out. I feel like I've learned specifically to just open up and be open to what other people are saying in regards to my downside. So I might not have been able to do that outside of this forum. I
Right.
might not have been able to listen and open up to hear those things that I lack or those things that I don't necessarily do well. So for me, listening
Mm.
it was the main thing that I have learned. And I think that's important for everyone listening. Because if you don't listen and you don't take in, then you are not able to attack what it is that you need to attack.
So where does that come from? Where does that come from? In all of us, where somebody says something to you and you automatically take it as an attack.
I think it can be environment. I think it can be, how we were raised. I think it could be a lot of different elements that play into that. um it can also be us as a guard, just walls and defenses that we've placed up as well, outside of environment and what we've been taught and all of that stuff. I think it could come from a lot of different places and a lot of different levels to that. But the main thing that is important is just stepping outside of what it is that we know.
Right.
And I think once we do that, then we're able to, just envelop all of the things that are being said to us and taking it in and taking it to heart. And when we don't do that, and when we stay in what we've learned or what we think we know or what we think is it, then that is our detriment. Because if we don't step outside of that, then we can't see anything else.
All right, I want you to go now, but I want to just ask these ladies for a quick favor. Ladies, can y'all allow the men some grace? Can y'all allow us to speak without being judged as far as complaining or whatever word y'all want to use? Because I can't speak for every man, but me personally, I'm never going to say you're nagging me or you're complaining to me. If you're speaking your truth and your feelings, I have to be able to take that in, and I have to be able to work on the shit that you're telling me, how I'm affecting you. And I need that space from you as well. Go ahead now. You could tell them.
Tap my head on that. Tap my head on that, because not every man is like that. Not every man is like that. I'm going to tap my head on that. Like, not every man is like that. There are times when women, want to express themselves. They're just being them. They're just saying X, Y, and Z, and it's attacked every which way, every single day, every fucking waking minute. So, you know, to you and to Nell,
I don't
for
look.
those men
Say
who
this though.
don't do that.
I'm gonna say this though, and I'm gonna take accountability, because I gotta take accountability. I can't sit up here and say I'm 100% right. I do shit like that sometimes. I will attack a feeling, right?
Right.
Because my feelings, not my feelings, but my intentions are pure. My intention, and the reason why I get so hot-headed or I get so in the moment is because I know my intentions with a person comes from a great place. I want us to win.
Right.
I don't want no beef. I don't want no issue. So when I'm attacking your that opinion that you come with, in a sense, is because it's delivered in a way where it's meant to destroy.
But what
And
if the person
and
is
people's
coming?
verbiage though,
Mhm.
people's verbiage when they are communicating certain things is meant to. I mean, it may not be perceived or meant that way, but the
Right.
perception of the way you're delivering it, the way you're saying it, with
Right,
the words
right.
you're putting
Let's stay right there. I
Let's
don't know.
stay
We
there.
we
Yeah.
have to get past that, how the message is
But
delivered.
then this is the thing. So if you agree, but if
Right.
you're saying I'm better in a space here, right?
Right.
I'm better if you call me instead of texting me, because I don't know how to do that. Then you gotta listen to that person tell you how they. Because if I'm allowing you to speak your shit, by just giving me a phone call. I don't want to read no text message, no
Right.
3 hour long text message.
That's a part of listening. That's a part of listening to how you can communicate with your partner or whatever.
So
that's a
if
part.
if I ask for that, give me that.
Right.
Give me that. Yes. Let's say we both heated. Hopefully by the end of that, we can come to a common ground, because what matters is you at the end of the day. Get past that. Get past that complication. Get past that, because you know what I mean, work past that in the moment shit and just say, you know what? We're both heated. We're both in our feelings. We're both whatever. The common ground of it is, you love me, I love you.
Right.
We're together for a reason. Let's fucking make it work. Stop taking shots at people. Taking shots, that shit ain't no good. What that's not proving nothing. You know what I mean? You know, just being negative. That ain't helping the situation.
Hold on now, because I don't want to lose this thought. We're quick to say, you know, we're quick to defend and say, no, I'm not doing that. But you don't know if you're doing that. That's how they feel. That's how they're taking it. You don't know how they feel about what you're doing, or if it's not enough for them. You can't account for that. We have to start taking that in.
Hard pills to swallow when you lose what you weren't expecting to lose. And you hold yourself accountable in the moment, saying, I did this. I need to fix this. I need to do this. I needed to do that. And then I need to do this. And be afforded those areas of opportunity to fix what you need to fix. And we both need to fix it. You can't ask one person to fix something, but you remain the same.
Right.
Because that's not fair to the situation. That's not growth for both parties. Both parties have to be willing to sit to understand exactly both plights and fix both plights, and stop saying, well, that's not what I'm doing, or I don't feel like I'm doing that, so I'm not fixing that. But you got to fix your shit.
Right. But that's what I'm saying now. Like, hold that thought right there. So how do you do that if the other person is not trying to hear what the fuck it is that you're trying to say? Because they feel that it is not in accordance to what they want to hear.
Right. Let's stay right there, Ish. You gotta keep at it. You have to sometimes you gotta pour more love into that person to get them to understand, you know, what you're trying to get them to do or say. Sometimes you have to do more. That's just what it is. Sometimes you got to do more just because they're not taking it in. They're not being.
When you see that, I've learned this. When you see that, you got to just pull back. Cool. All right. Even if the conversation ends on a sour note, you got to be the one. Sometimes you got to be the one to make the phone call. Like, yo, you know what? Shit got out of hand. I just want you to know I love you. Because that hopefully drills in their mind that this ain't detrimental to the point where I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to stop telling you I love you. I'm not going to not be here for you because we have a disagreement.
Right.
I'm not going to deviate from us because of our impasse. I love you. It resets it lets us go to our neutral corners and see it and come back another time and be like, all right, it is what it is. I heard what you said last night. I heard what you said earlier today.
Right.
I'm willing to work on this. I'm willing to work on that. I can see this. I can see that. Or, you know, we can fix it.
Yeah. But that's the key word.
Right.
Hearing.
Right.
And listening.
Now you're going to run.
Some people don't do that.
Want to run into situations where the person just can't listen. The person wants to hear what they want to hear, and you still got to be true to you. This is the whole premise of everything that we do has to be a thing of being true to yourself. You can only do what you can do. You can only do what you can do and what you're willing to do. If you're willing to do it, you're going to do it. If you're not going to do it.
And all of us are imperfect people, so we have to be receptive to the bad shit that we do as well. What the fuck?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree.
We'll sit here and defend the bad shit that we do just because we don't want to take accountability for it.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
that's important. Mhm. I can't.
no, what did you want to say that you had learned, throughout your journey, as far as your emotional state?
As I say every week on the show, emotional intelligence. It's not something that we learn in schooling, or it's not something that we put much stock into until we have to. And
Right.
Mhm.
emotional intelligence plays a part understanding our own emotions, being able to communicate and effectively and efficiently with that, but also being able to understand that there's other tangible sources that have emotions as well,
Okay.
and how to understand them intelligently.
Mhm.
Right? Because intelligence means you're listening to understand. You're
Mhm.
not listening just to throw shit back at them. You're
Right.
listening with the intent of, I want to hear them, I want to understand them, and I want to try to figure it out.
Mm.
It may not happen in that moment right there, but you're maturely trying to tackle that.
All right.
You know,
I just want to wrap this up by saying it's important to not only listen, to understand. It's important to not only, you know, communicate, as y'all love to say, y'all want to communicate, but y'all don't always communicate on the right things. It's important to communicate, and it's important to teach your partner how you need to be treated,
Mhm.
because they might not know that. Every little kid, as a little kid, nobody taught me to open up doors or to buy flowers or none of these things. These are things that I learned on my own. So you can't automatically assume that people just know shit, because they
Okay.
fucking don't.
Right.
You have to teach them.
Right.
So you have to teach the people the things that are important to you, the things that you like, and all
Mhm.
things of that nature.
as they right, and one other aspect of that as well is, if you have a love interest or a person that you're in love with, or in that process of, stop looking at everything as a detriment and look at it as, this is what's going to help us grow.
Facts.
Stop looking at everything as somebody's trying to change us or somebody's trying to tear me down, and look at it as, maybe this will help us. Maybe
Facts.
this will take us to the next level. Maybe I can internalize some of these things, not move accordingly, but figure it out at some point, or to get to the root of why they are saying these things, or what brought them to that conclusion. It's a lot of things that goes into communication. Communication ain't just spewing your opinion or saying your shit and just and it be that. Communication is saying and hearing with the understanding of, you are trying to understand exactly what they're saying and put into play the issues of what's going on.
All right, Katie, it's on you. What's up?
So with dog, how you doing, dog?
Hey.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I had it on mute. You know, when you get things told to you, as a person who do not hold on to emotion, as a person who reject emotion, even, um, a lot of times it will appear as if I'm not listening, but I hear. I do hear, and also, as far as me, I can only speak for myself. When I take things in a personal manner, um, I'm a person who has a deep feel of vibe, who go by vibes. And I'm not gonna say that those vibes are always right, but if I just feel like the vibe is wrong, I'm one that's going to approach just to try to get it right. Sometimes, like I say, I will take it personal, and I do thank you guys for alerting me of that, and I would be more conscious with you guys of taking things personally. But I was listening tonight, but I was enthralled in something because I was studying about my next guest, who I am so excited about having on tonight. In fact, he and I have been going all back and forth all day long. And I thought I wasn't going to get him on here, and I was biting my nails, even though y'all couldn't see me. But my next guest, Mr. John De La Puente, and I hope he would correct me if that is wrong. First and foremost, this is a God-fearing man, which shows in his persistence in what he has become today. John was once homeless, and he founded a homeless voice project. What's going on, T? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, KD.
Oh, okay. John was once homeless, and he funded a project called the Homeless Voice Plus You, an organization dedicated to giving back to the homeless, and use the platform to help them voice their stories and bring light to the broken shelter across the USA. Fast forward. He is now a SAG-AFTRA eligible award-winning lead actor who is currently appearing in a national and international feature film called Second Chance, written, directed, and produced by Mr. Cleon A. James. John embodies the role of Alpha, co-starring to international reggae artist and actor Spracker Benz and international award-winning actress Melissa Determined. Movies to date and films to date are American Girl, where he plays Joe, a cameo in Creed 3, and can currently be seen on the new Apple TV series, The Big Door Prize, as Josh. Now, let me tell y'all a little personal something about Josh. Josh came by way of a show called We Were Filming together, John and I. I've known John for about 4 years now. And John and I both were on this show, and we were both playing background teachers. So this particular day, the director came up and said, today, I'm not sure the exact words, John, but we knew that it was going to be somebody's lucky day that they got a speaking role. Absolutely. Now, mind you, y'all, guess who was in line? The two you see on the screen right now. They were about to pick me, and they went, and John just has this air about him. This hat that you see, he always stand out. And he has this air about him. John just stood there, and they went right on over KD's head and went. But you know what? John and I have worked together for so long, and we know each other's struggles. And just that day, I don't know if John remembered this, he and I were taking a break together, and he had said to me, he said, you know, this is getting old. This is getting tired. He's saying, I got 2 kids. He said, if I don't make it soon, he said, I'm going back. I'm just going to give it all up. And I said, John, don't do that. I said, you done came too far. Right. And I'd be dang if that same day he didn't get that speaker role, which is why I was not at all disappointed. I was not at all mad. John, welcome to Karen's Corner, Uncensored Minds, brother. I am so proud of you and all that you have accomplished, all that you are accomplishing. So the floor, my brother, is yours. Please tell us more about Mr. John De La Puente. First of all, let me know if I pronounced that correctly.
You absolutely did. And thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I mean, I don't know how to just follow up with that, right? It's, you know, and I'm glad that you remember, because I was actually wearing the same hat when I got picked for that role.
I thought they had looked familiar. I thought it did. Yeah,
so it's funny that you say. I do remember taking that break. I do remember you telling me that, because I'm like, listen, like I said exactly what you said. Like this is getting too old for me. Mm-hmm. Not saying too good to be doing background work, because I still do that every once in a while. I mean, it's fun, it's great, learn a lot while you're on set. But it's time to level up. When you get to a certain level and you know you can get to the next level, you got to go for it. And, you know, you reminded me of that day. And, you know, that same day I got picked for that speaking role.
That's right. And it's been uphill ever since.
Yes. Thank God for that. Absolutely.
Well, tell us, John. I watched the movie Second Chance when I first saw it on your Instagram. I watched it because, like I say, you know, I forget exactly where we started at together, but I know that you and I have been background together for quite a few years.
Right.
We both have the same fight in us. We don't be trying to be in competition, but we always find ourselves in competition. Absolutely. I know that you had this cameo on Creed, and I know that because I was right behind you before they kicked me off for having COVID, and I was so I was so elated that you were able to sit right there with the man himself, Michael B. Well, 2 down from Michael B. Jordan, but you were right there in the midst of everything. You had a bird's eye view at everything. How was that experience to be right there on Creed 3?
I mean, before, you know, your departure from the project at the time, you already know, just watching Michael B. Jordan work, not only as a director, but also as an actor, that was, to me, was very inspiring. Just the way that he was, right? So, I mean, being in that whole set when he asked me to come to the front and be in the scene with him and Tessa, you know, his wife in the movie, and then his little daughter, yeah, that was exciting. I mean, come on, you know, the man himself talking to you, and he's just like, okay. I'm like, all right, thank you, King. I appreciate the opportunity, you know, that kind of stuff. It was great. It was great. But, you know, you don't think about the moment in itself, right? Because you never know how it is. A lot of times,
right.
And you know how that goes with the editing and stuff like that. So you kind of keep your mouth shut until it comes out. And then I wasn't even thinking about it or even paying attention to it until I see people just sending me messages like, oh, I just seen you on Creed and exciting. It was pretty exciting.
Well, you know, working with you, I know that you are one who do stay focused. And like you say, even in background, you know, sometimes you're up against 1,000 people or more, you know, so you have to be able to stand out. And right. I know that you have always been one that is able to stand out. And you and I both know that it's a great honor to be a featured background, because that means that out of all of those faces, out of all of those people, out of all of that background talent, yours has been spotted by right. the producer, which puts you up close, you know, up close in front, you know, which is why you were able to be, you know, picked out. And I was able to like be in competition with you because we were right there up front and close with the director. So with you being up front and close with the directors, you know, in those movies and Creed and numerous other, you know, films, that has landed you to have your own role in a film, independent film, which I had the pleasure of watching and enjoyed, called Second Chance, now showing on Tubi.
Yes.
Tell me about, and those who have not watched it, I'm not going to ruin anything for you, because I will tell you, you will enjoy the movie immensely. But tell us a little bit about Alpha without giving away the whole movie.
Right. First and foremost, let me just say this. Had you not left the production, I'm sure they would have picked you, because I'm going to say this. You know, getting picked to be a feature, yes, there's an art and a science to it. And you and I had a conversation, you know, before this, early on today. Was it? Yes, I'm not sure. But, you know, we're talking about how to be able to stand out. And number one, talked about was like, be professional at all times. Don't engage yourself in these little groups and these little cliques where you're just gossiping and talking about the food and talking about this PA and talking about this. Don't do none of that. Just stay to yourself, because your light is always going to shine, right? So pay attention while you're on set and listen to what they're saying, and just position yourself to be in that place where they can see you and they know how you are and they see your light and they feel your energy. And guess what? The magic happens when they pick you to be a feature, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we talked about that. So that's one of the things that I would say that can help people get there, and when they're on set doing background, just be professional. Your energy and light will shine eventually. I want
Always
to
be professional. Always.
thank you to you for supporting the film and having it, looking at it on Tubi, which is for free. You don't have to pay for this, so get the popcorn. It's a very family-oriented type of film, even though there's a little bit of gunplay because of my character Alpha. He's pow pow pow.
That's right. Yeah, that you know what? When I saw you playing that part, I'm like, oh my God, they got John playing a bad man. I can't believe it. So, but I just had to separate the character from the person that I know.
Right.
You know,
So let me,
I don't know.
me playing that character Alpha in the movie Second Chance. I know you already kind of gave me your opinion on it. But tell the viewers what you thought of it, because you're trying to separate the person that right? This guy right here, versus the character that I was playing on this movie role.
Right. Alpha, oh my God, he was one of those type of guys. Ladies, he's one of those guys that you want. He's a thug, number one, a boss, but yet he's got that rough edge to him where you hate him because of the way he treat women. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's one of those types.
He's very narcissistic.
Very, very narcissistic.
It's about his money. His loyalty is to his money. Doesn't matter who. Or it doesn't. Loyalty is money. Period.
That's it. And like I say, it was hard for me to picture you like that, but that's exactly what it is. Yet he lures you in because he shows a certain amount of loyalty to the people around him to a certain extent.
Right.
But then, like I said, I'm not going to tell a whole lot because you do need to go and watch the film. But ultimately, that's basically what it is. He's loyal to the money. Plain and simple, loyal to the money. How was it working with Spragga? I didn't know him. I was thinking he was your brother. And then when I text you and asked you who, about that, and you told me who it was, I looked him up, and he's quite a name. He's quite a name for the reggae population, those that enjoy reggae music. Then you probably are familiar with Spragga. How was it filming alongside him? And how did you get the role?
Yeah, Spragga. How did I get the role? Somebody that knows that I was pursuing this acting career saw a post about the film, and I had no idea about it. I wasn't friends with the people on social media that posted it. So they asked me, it's like, hey, try out for this. And I'm hungry. I just came to Atlanta, right? So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and check it out. So I submitted my, the rest is history,
All right.
But working with Spragga, I grew up. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I grew up watching Spragga. New York, Brooklyn. All we listen to is reggae, of course, with other kinds of music. But I grew up listening to reggae a lot. So working with, and he has a movie that's a cult classic called Shatters, right? Where he played, of course, his younger self back then. And so I grew up knowing him. So then to be in the same room with him, it was kind of surreal, right? Because the person that I remember from that movie, Shatters, it was totally different from the person in this movie. It's like, he did a 360, right? It was great. It was great. Very humble guy, very spirit-filled, right? And cool dude.
All right. Well, I know that you have many, many other talents. Because like I say, I know you. Tell us about one of the arts that you're thinking about stepping out on that you're actually in the process of doing, because you're also an author. For those that don't know, he is also an author, and I'm going to share this link with you that he is gifting each and every one in the audience a copy of his book tonight. And we thank you for that. I thank you for that. And so tell us more about your
You get a,
writing.
what's that?
Tell us more about your plans to write more projects in the future and how extensive are you going to go with those projects?
Right. Well, as far as I'm gonna go with it, only God knows that, right? But I want to take it as far as I possibly can. You know, I'm walking in my purpose, on purpose, for a purpose, right? So yeah, one of my gifts is definitely writing. For me, doing acting, I love acting. I love being in front of the camera. But also, I'm also passionate about my other gift, which is writing and being behind the scenes. You know, creating, writing, producing, and directing. So that's the next lane that I'm stepping into. You know, right now I got a couple of projects that are in development. There's, you know, they're being looked at. So soon you'll see some of those things. 'Cause, you know, I definitely want you to be part of it. And so that's where I'm at with that. You
I
know?
told you I'm ready.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So, you know, in life, this is how I see life. It's like everything in this world is meant to grow, right? You plant a seed, it plant grows into a flower. We as human beings, we come from this egg that turns into a fetus, and then, you know, a child is born, and then here we are, right? We're always, and that's the thing that we have to understand is that no matter where you are in life, you always have to think there's going to be a next level for you because you have to grow, not only spiritually, mentally, but physically as well, right? So
Right.
that's going to be the next level. Of course, I'm still going to be acting because that's my passion as well. Nevertheless, in order for me to level up and go to the next level and be able to create content that I want to see out there, created by my, you know, me and my team, then that's what I need to do. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to it. Putting on the director's hat.
Now, the part, and this is my last question for the night. The part that, hi, Ebony, the one picture, the one TV series that is now out, the brand new TV series on Apple, called The Big Door Prize. This one is what made you SAG after, and that is every thriving actor or actress goal is to become SAG after. So tell me, how does it feel to finally have it? How does it feel to have a role that is reoccurring and they be calling you on it? By the way, you need to tell them to go on and reach back out to me again. How does it feel to finally have gotten that one role? Because you were ready to quit that day, John. I'm not lying. So I knew that it was meant for you. Yeah. Because you were ready to quit that very day that you got that role. It is so ironic that you and I were standing out there and you were saying, man, this is it. If something don't happen, I got my two kids. I'm hanging my hat. I'm leaving Atlanta. I'm going back to New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that day changed everything.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, that's when you know that you're walking in your purpose, right? Because guess what? What I said to you, that's not how I speak, right? What I mean, I don't speak things like that where I'm almost saying that I'm quitting or I'm defeating, right? I'm defeating myself. So shortly after that, I literally went and found me a little quiet place outside and I prayed. I literally prayed and I asked forgiveness. Forgive me for now allowing you to continue to direct my steps. Forgive me for even saying those things out of my mouth because I know I'm here for a purpose. So quitting is not an option, even though my flesh, right? That's what my saying. Like, I gotta make something happen, but that's just me. That's just my hustle in my mind. Like, yo, I gotta get this. I gotta get, you know what I mean? It was one of those. But once I prayed about it, and then again, like you said, they asked all of us that were playing teachers to come out because they had a surprise for us, which was getting a line on the show, and then audition us. I was like, that was confirmation for me. Okay, I gotta stick around a little bit longer in Atlanta because this is planted me, and this is what he wants me to continue to, you know, get that harvest that he has for me, right? So, yeah, here we are.
And when they had us each to say the role, what was that role that you had to say? You go, Dusty. Yeah, the one line.
Hey, that's a great looking scooter you got there, right?
Yes. Okay. they had us each to say that. I think it was about 4 or 5 of us, maybe.
It was 7.
And
7.
they went, because you and I was at the beginning of the line. I never forget. They went all the way down the line. Then they came back up and they asked you to do it again, and then they asked me to do it again. Then they was like, okay, we're gonna give it to John. I'm like, God dang it, John, you stole my part.
But look,
I was so happy for you. I really, not once did I feel any remorse, because I know that you deserve that role.
Listen, I appreciate that, because I saw some other people that auditioned with us on the spot kind of give me the side eye, bro. I can't worry about that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So if you think, remember what I did. Like the second time around, right? I'm listening to how everybody else is saying their lines, and a lot of the people were very monotone. Everybody sounded exactly the same. I was able, and you was able too, to give different variations of that one line. Hey, that's a great looking shooter you got there. So we was able to
put your own character into it.
And that's it. So the thing is being prepared, because you never know when you're gonna get that one chance. So for me, I had to kind of like do self-talk real quick, because I'm like, this is it. I have this one shot. I got this one chance to just be me. So I asked God, I said a silent prayer. I'm like, God, allow me to be me in this moment. Allow me to, the words that I speak out of my mouth, allow the director who's in front of me auditioning me to hear, and not only hear me, but see me. And that's what I did. But I don't know if you remember this. The other thing that I did was, remember when we were saying the lines, I had my hat on. Okay. Sometimes I took my hat off after I said my line. I took off my hat and I was like, hey, I can say my lines too without my hat.
Oh, yeah, you sure did. You sure. I'm like, dang, boy, John, is coming hard, because they was trying to decide at that time. And you went, hey, I can take my hat off too. And as soon as you said that, it seemed like they said, okay, John. I'm like, God dang, he went hard for this, didn't he?
I was just be myself.
You sure did. You took your hat off and told him that you could do it without the hat. Well, John, people, I put John's I thought I did anyway. I didn't go through. His Instagram is gonna be in the comments. Y'all go and follow him, and then go and please DM him, and he will give you a free copy of his book. And what's the name of the book again, John?
Yeah, so this particular book is called 101 Ways to Motivation and Success in 1 hour. 101 Ways to Motivation and Success in 1 hour. It's a very motivational, inspirational type of book. And I just give you some short stories and give you some quotes here and there, and you'll see. But type in motivation when you come check me on Instagram, on my DM. Just type the word motivation, and automatically you're going to get a link sent to you where you're going to be able to download the free ebook.
Right. Okay. Now I keep sending it through. I don't know how it's not coming up. But I put it in the comments. But his IG is John De La Puente. What see right there, official page. That is John JHONN De La Puente official page. Like I said, I know it's going through. I don't know why it's not going through, but I'm putting it in the comments, and I will ask my co-hosts if they can run it up on the bottom for you. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. There it is. Thank you so much for blessing us with being a guest right here on Uncensored Minds, Karen's Corner. And again, guys, go and watch Second Chance. And I want to see if my co-host would like to come out and greet you. And if they have any questions, this is T. And we have Nell and Aisha who are backstage.
How you doing?
Hello, welcome, and thank you so much.
I thank you guys for. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, man.
Yeah, I wanna say thank you for coming on, and can you tell us the name of the project that she's speaking about that's on Tubi, and what other projects that you've been in, so people can check you out?
Yeah. The one that's currently right now on Tubi, I have three on Tubi actually. Well, two. The other one doesn't really count because I don't have any lines in that. But the one that Karen's talking about is called Second Chance.
Okay.
And that one's playing on Tubi right now. Of course, Tubi is free. You can download it for free, so you don't have to pay for it at all. There's no profanity in the film itself. There is some mild violence, some gunplay with my character and the people that I associate with.
Oh, you ain't got to worry about that. We love violence over here.
Now we love violence. Yes.
Listen, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I know what's up. But I'm just putting it out there for people to know that hey, it's a family. It can be a family film, right? People can come there and watch it without any problems. You know what I mean? Kids and grandma can watch it. You know what I mean? And the other one that Karen's talking about is on Apple TV. Just came out called the Big Door Prize. So in that one, I have a line and have a recurring role that's going to be coming up in other episodes as well.
Nice.
Anybody got questions?
And in the Big Door Prize, y'all will see. Oh, girl! I didn't make
Miss Katie.
the line, but I did get a featured background. So you will see me just before John.
I got a quick question. What would be your dream role?
My dream role will be a role that I can encompass all of my gifts, and people will be able to see that through that gift, through that performance.
Okay. Questions? What's up? Anybody got questions in the chat?
So to date, like just piggybacking off a little bit off of what he asked, to date, what has been your most, let's just say, most exciting and fun role for you that you have played thus far?
Yeah, it'll be that movie, Second Chance.
It would be Second Chance, okay.
Only because, with that role, I really have to go in deep. Let me just say this. The character that I'm playing in that movie it's a character that's in all of us, right? And sometimes we choose to put that character behind, right? Growing up in New York, grew up rough in the streets, I had to bring some of that into it, even though I've been removed from that in a sense, right? So I had to go back into that. And I think that's why my performance in that movie was very authentic, because I was able to tap into that. Yeah. But it was fun because it was like the total opposite of who I am right now. But it's in me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to ask you, I need to know your age bracket before I ask you this question.
Yeah, I just turned 50 this past July, so I'm gonna be 51 coming up this July.
All right, so I don't know if you can answer this biasly, because I think you said you was in the Creed movie. So I've seen some people saying that the Creed 3 movie or the Creed movies are better than Rocky. What's your take?
All right, so I'm a fan of Rocky, always have been. I grew up on Rocky, right. So I would say that with Creed, I like where it's going. So give me about 3 or 4 more Creed movies, and then I can answer that question. But right now, I gotta rock with Rocky.
Yeah, I gotta rock with Rocky.
Yeah. And we grew up on that, man. You know what I mean?
Facts. Ebony has a question, Katie.
Creed without a Rocky.
Facts.
Okay, we have a question. This is from my bestie, Ebony. She wants to know, can you tell us how you overcame being homeless?
Yeah, faith. Just having faith. And not only having faith, but also having a plan, right? It was one of those things where I was homeless during that time because I started a business, right? So I made a decision to sleep out of my van at that time instead of me paying $1,600 rent for a small little apartment in New York City, right? So that's something that I chose to do. Why? Because I had a startup. And within that startup, I knew I had to save money, right? It was money that I can dump into my business. So knowing the plan, taking action on the plan to get there what got me out of that, right? Because I know this is only short term, it's not long term. So that's basically how I got out of it. Just having faith and also putting the plan into action. That's all it is. It's having that mind. It's not about bad, it's about where you're going.
That's right. And your 2 kids. I'm quite sure that it was an inspiration of wanting to be better for your 2 kids, because you spoke so highly of them that day. That you really wanted to make it for them, Absolutely. And I really admire you for saying that.
Yeah, they're the ones that give me their blessings. they always knew that I always wanted to do acting. So when I asked them about it, you know, they told me, Dad, like, yeah, we definitely, you got our blessings. Like, we know that whatever you put your mind to, you're gonna do. And I told them before I left, I told them, don't worry about it. Like before long, you're gonna see your dad on the big screen. And sure and behold, a year and a half later, they see me on the big screen when we actually doing a premiere in New York, in Brooklyn, in one of the movies to go to the movies at. So that for me right there was just like, come on, man. It's so only God, yo. Only God.
Only God, only God. Well, again, I thank you for coming on and accepting my invitation to come on because I still see my friends. I haven't been on camera in a long time, but I'm gonna hold you to being on maybe, the next project that you do because I do miss it, but I also know the persistence that it take, the fight that it take. And I'm so proud of all that you are doing. So proud to see you on the big screen and you keep on going, my brother. Support all the way. So y'all go on Instagram, follow John, and also direct message him for your free copy of his book. So thank you, John, for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, now have a good one.
Yes, John. Thank you.
What's up, Nell? What's the word?
We're going to 60 seconds.
No, before we get into going to 60 seconds, man, I want to say not only shout out to the LSU women for winning the chip, but shout out to Brittany Holmes, who was singing the national anthem at the game tonight. I've known her for a long time. I remember when she was just sending me songs to check out, and she's doing big things now. So shout out to Brittany.
Shout out. Nice. It's always great when you see somebody, especially that like that is dope. You know what I mean? Just to see people's progress. I love it. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to John. Go ahead, Nell.
What's up? So my little part. I'm under the weather, so excuse me for not being my little self. But as she said, let's shout out to as we transition from March, which was Women's Month, into April, which is again Autism Acceptance Month. Let's give a big shout out to the LSU Tigers. The LSU women's basketball team pulled off a major feat tonight, beating the Iowa State Buckeyes Iowa Hawks for the national championship in the women's basketball tournament. So shout out to the LSU Tigers women team for doing that. Shout outs to the young lady that hails from Baltimore, Maryland. She took home the national championship most valuable player award. This young lady has been doing some amazing things. Angel Reese is her name.
Angel Reese, what's up, Angel?
What's up, Angel? And a lot of controversy tonight after a gesture that she made to Caitlin Clark with the hand in the face pointing to the ring. Within competition, ain't nothing friendly when you competing. So
no. You have to say, if you serve it up, you got to be able to eat it as well.
That's absolutely right. And a little backstory on that is Caitlin Clark actually did that time before, and she did that in her face. And this was Angel's get back to her in the waning moments of the national championship game, saying, "Hey, you know, what I mean, we're on top of disrespect, so." It is what it is. So shout outs to the LSU Tigers for pulling it off. Tomorrow night we got the men's national NCAA tournament game between San Diego State and UConn. This will determine the men's championship. UConn is heavily favored in this game, so we'll see who pulls out the win tomorrow. With that, that's our sports right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Shout outs to our amazing comment section, which is you. We definitely appreciate you coming with us every Sunday night for this journey that we call Uncensored Minds. This is episode 125. Shout out to John for coming on this evening and sharing his story, which was a story of inspiration, a story of triumph, and a story of faith, and how stick to itness and being aware of your goals will get you to your destination. He never self. He never gave up on his dreams. He never gave up on his goals, and it translated into him being able to have a movie premiere in his city, the city where he was homeless for some time, only to now bring forth his gift to the big screen, and for those to experience it and enjoy it the way he wants us to. So, continue blessings to John and all of his family as he continues to go on and do big things. Shout outs to everybody out there that's hopefully y'all having a beautiful week coming up. We know people got some challenges that they're facing. Continue prayer for my father. Had a little setback this week, but with God's grace, he is gonna pull through. He's a fighter. So all we could do is just leave it in God's hands and, come out on the other side of positive. I know he shares the same sentiments as we continue to, be there for our parents and make sure they get back on the right side of health. I know when I say we both appreciate everybody's kind words, everybody's checking in on us and just making sure that we cool. Somebody who is a part of our Uncensored Minds family plays the background a lot, but still needs our prayers. Is Crystal. She's dealing with some family issues herself. So not to put anybody's business out there, just put the prayers up as you possibly can. So, Crystal is a part of our Uncensored Minds family, and regardless if you're in the forefront or you play in the background, prayers go both ways. So, you have our prayers as you navigate through your family's times as well. That's it, people. Catch us this Wednesday for a great show. We got the Foursome Four, which is Zach, Chris, T, and myself with another Telemade Kicks episode, Final Four Face Off. It's going to be a dope show. This show is going to be one of them shows that's going to be like, okay, y'all sneaker collection is kind of extensive. We always seeing y'all show Nikes and Jordans, but this is going to make us dig in the crates a little bit. So make sure y'all catch us this Wednesday at 8 p.m. The Telemade Kicks is going to be an awesome show, I guarantee. Then you got on the flip side of that, the next day, which is Game 7, which is the big homie himself, T, and Mike. They bring forth that basketball energy that we need. It's a great watch. These two go back and forth with each other. It's comical, it's hilarious, and it's fun at the same time. Then 4 days later, a couple days later, you got us, Uncensored Minds, KD, Ish, T, and myself, bringing you the shit, the shenanigans, love, can't possibly bring to you. Thank you again for bearing with our pros and also our cons. We appreciate y'all for loving us no matter what we give y'all, how we present ourselves. We always are what they call it, just a work in progress.
Work in progress.
A work in progress. We thank y'all for not abandoning us when when we not always tasting good. All thoughts in the trash when we don't taste good. Y'all come back for seconds, so we appreciate that. Thank you to everybody out there. We appreciate y'all. Continue to keep sending in your topics. Continue to like and share the video. Continue to go on the Facebook page and put your comments in there. We appreciate everything. Continue to keep hitting T up and ordering that Uncensored Minds merch. Shout out to Janine. I seen you with an Uncensored Minds t-shirt today that rivaled all of ours. Color combination on that was dope. If you want to be like Janine, if you want to be like yourself and have your own swag, hit us up. We got it for you. Uncensored Minds Uncensored Minds merchandise is all over. I think we about to back something out real crazy for the spring, summertime. Like, y'all think the t-shirts is popping. I got the tank tops. We about to hit y'all hard with some shit. And then we got the Uncensored Minds top fans. I'm sure we got a video coming on for y'all real soon. We just worked on something this Thursday that's gonna make y'all think. It's gonna have y'all look at Aisha. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Everybody have a wonderful week. Please do. Please have a wonderful week, an amazing week. Tap into that positive energy. Let us tap into that positive energy, please.
The
Let
audio
us all.
streams on Tuesday for everybody who can't, always watch the whole video on YouTube or the live.
Yes.
The audio streams are available every Tuesday. The new
Yeah.
episode drops on all streaming platforms.
Peace.
We got panties for y'all too.
Panties
and memberships. Don't forget
I got
the
memberships, toys.
I thought you was about to say you got panties. Each I was about to say, whoa, Each.
I got vibrating panties. I mean, let's get into it. Some people need to vibrate the shit out because let's do it. Let's do it. I do got vibrating panties, ladies. Let's go. Let's go. Make sure everybody have a good, great week. Positive energy, good vibes only. Let's go.
We out.
We out.
We out.
Peace.
Bye-bye.